Welcome in to a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Sorry we're a little late here on this Tuesday. Hit that like and share.
We don't apologize for the bad boys.
Hit that comment button for us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We appreciate you starting your Tuesday here with us. We're going to talk to Will Wade after last night's exciting win by the Tigers as they rally from behind in the second half to get the win over Liberty. That'll be a game that they talk about in March. The selection committee will love that win for LSU. We will talk about that win last night with Will Wade, some of the numbers that jumped off. Eric Gaines had a big one on Tuesday night. Efton Reed was in and out of the game with foul trouble, but came in for a late block last night that seemed to be the turning point in Darius Days. Will Wade with some strong comments on Days and his performance last night, what it could mean ultimately for some accolades at the end of the season for the senior. 26 points last night for Days, 5 of 10 from behind the arc, 8 of 14 from the field, 5 of 6 from the line, and grabbed 7 boards, 1 block, 3 steals. The senior very much affected the game. We'll talk all about last night's win for the LSU Tigers coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Shout out to our crew over at Go Chevrolet, GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Couple of locations, one in Laplace, one on Florida Boulevard here in Baton Rouge. That's a used car lot that you can find at Go Express Auto Sales, and everything's always online at Go Chevrolet, GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Our water is provided to you by True Blue Water. If you want to hop on the delivery route today, you can. Online at TRUBluewater.com, TrueBlueWater.com. We also have Majestic Coffee, bringing you our coffee every day here on the Jordy Culotta Show. If you'd like to check them out, online at DeliciousSips.com. Our phone line is sponsored by Metropolitan Health Group, Real Doctors, Real Solutions. That's our friends Jason Ramazan and Charles Harvey from over at Metropolitan Health Group. Real Doctors, Real Solutions. Papa Earl's Official Spice, 30% less sodium. And Dead Soxy, our socks here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Just going with the Athletic Black today, which is very comfortable. Very comfortable. You can pull those up, too, if you'd like.
Oh, you can go all the way to the tippy top
with
those?
I love. Not all the way up, but they'll stick up top. Remember, over at Dead Soxy, just for a limited time right now at deadsoxy.com, you can receive 35% off because 'tis the season of giving. Dead Soxy is launching a pre-Black Friday sale, and you don't want to miss out. Socks make great stocking stuffers or stocking stuffers.
Ooh. Are you stuffing a sock in a sock at that point? Is it a stocking considered
sure.
Yeah. Huh.
For a limited time, visit deadsoxy.com and get 35% off. 35% off of the entire site with the promo code EARLYBIRD. Whether you're giving your family member, your friends, or yourself a gift, give something that they'll look forward to wearing over and over again. I can attest to this. I wear Dead Soxy everyday socks, and they're awesome. Everyone needs to experience the difference of a quality sock and what it can mean to you. Go to deadsoxy.com and enter the code EARLYBIRD at checkout. You'll receive 35% off. Early bird over at deadsoxy.com. I was at the Maravich Center last night. Another fantastic atmosphere for LSU. The student section deserves a lot of credit here, and we'll talk all about Ed Orgeron speaking to the media yesterday. We'll talk about LSU getting ready for ULM. Looks like Jake Johnson or Max Johnson is going to be the starting quarterback for LSU again, as that was announced by Orgeron yesterday, and just a press conference that you can see more and more lively is Orgeron. Yesterday, he was kind of shunning off the writers that were calling him for playing daddy ball with Doug Nussmeier and Garrett Nussmeier. He was talking about some of the writers of people making comments of him rolling over his assistant coaches with a bus. He said, "Well, where I'm from, we don't have buses. We just tell the truth." And then he
get what he was going for there.
And then he backed the bus up over Jake Peets
again
routinely during yesterday's press conference. Orgeron and Panamsky. I mean, it is funny to see how they have lost their way with LSU football, as they've just got a couple of more weeks here on the job. We'll also talk about the coaching search. It looks as if maybe Woodward has gotten a couple of words back from some potential candidates here. Jimbo Fisher, very colorful in his description of where he is on the LSU job and Texas A&M status of the job right now. So we will talk about that. But let's start last night inside of the Maravich Center, where LSU basketball is up against Liberty in a game that this one will come back and be really good for LSU. And we'll ask that to Will Wade coming up here in less than an hour. He'll be here at 8 o'clock this morning. And we'll talk to Wade, who really is, we can talk about what he does well. And he does a lot of things really good, talking about Will Wade. He is a high-end college basketball coach with the way that he can control the game from the sidelines and the way that he recruits his team, the way that he puts his team together, and a lot of the stuff he does. What he does maybe at his best is schedule. He understands the analytics and what it means to the selection committee in March when they overall look at the schedule and the body of work of a team and understand what quality opponents and potentially quality wins look like. And last night, the victory over Liberty, 74-58, was very much a high-quality win for LSU. Not only is it a win that LSU will be able to seek the advantage and get the advantage from in March when the selection committee ultimately makes their choice of who's going to be in the field of 68. But it also, last night, was a great early season test for LSU. Last night, had to rally in the second half, was down in the second half, had to come back and make a couple of plays. Defensively, they're still, I think you can see the improvement and just the attention that they are paying to that side of the ball now, right? Couple of more shot clock vios for the opponent last night. They did go through some spells early on where they gave up some long rebounds and they gave up second shots to Liberty, and that really burned them. But I thought that Tari Eason, Efton Reed, the rest of the guys on the low block really made a difference in the second half. Efton Reed came up with a tremendous block, a block I think that was probably the pivot point of the game that really put Liberty out of it last night. And then you think of some of the defensive plays that they made down there. I thought that Tari Eason was really just kind of disrupting a lot of stuff. He's very active down there. And then the guard, the perimeter defense of guys like Brandon Murray and Mwani Wilkinson really jump out. I mean, I think that they, when they commit to that side of the floor in a couple of lineups out there where they can be defensively very special. Eric Gaines at the 1, Murray at the 2. You think of some guys like Darius. Obviously, you can't take Darius Days off the floor, and he's getting better defensively. And then with Tari Eason and Efton Reed down low, I mean that is a very much a.
They come at you in waves.
It's a very strong, athletic, active defensive group, and when they can force one shot with Efton Reed, which he can, that's kind of who he is. He's an intimidator. He's a guy that can really put you in a bad spot offensively, force you into a bad shot, grab the rebound after one shot, get the outlet pass, and the ball never touches the floor. You can see how fun this group is to watch play. I mean, as they continue to get the on-the-floor chemistry and continue to work out the things here early in the season, they're only going to get better. They have to stay healthy, obviously. They are very deep, but last night was very much a high-quality win. I thought that Wade really kind of said some things after the game that gives you some insight on how he feels about his team. He was asked directly about Darius Day's performance, and Day's again with another 30-point performance last night as he had 33. I'm sorry. He played 33 minutes. He had 26 points. He had 26 points. Yeah, sorry about that.
He has a mid-range game now. He had off the dribble game, which is unbelievable.
It is. You have seen his game evolve and develop. Obviously, in the offseason, he went back to the NBA Combine or the NBA workouts and got some really good feedback on just where they want him to be when, like next season at the evaluation, what they want to see him work on. And the pull-up jumper in the mid-range game is obviously something that he has paid attention to because that part of his game is very much evolved into very, something very special. So this LSU team is fun to watch. They'll play McNeese. When is this? It'll be on Thursday night at the Maravich Center as McNeese will be in town taking on LSU. And then they'll have Belmont here in Baton Rouge on November 22nd. So a couple of big games coming up before they take off to Atlanta next week, to the Emerald Classic where they'll have Penn State, Oregon State, Wake Forest, teams like that that they can match up against. They'll play Georgia Tech in Atlanta coming up on December 11th. So they got some big games coming up. At LSU right now, a very impressive 3-0.
How about their way, like in the past, you play a team like Liberty, and they're trying to make the game kind of like sloppy, right? They're not trying to let you run. They're trying to slow it down, the whole deal. In the past, just with the personnel and the people we have on the team, you slow the game down, you could feel like the offense wasn't going, and they didn't play lockdown defenses for as long. They couldn't match the defensive intensity. We don't have that anymore. Now we match defense for defense, and then you have the ability to there was a 5-point game with 5 minutes, we're down 5 points with 6.5 minutes to go, and we end up winning by 18 points, 16 points?
Yeah.
Like, the ability to close out that game and make that run is impressive.
And we'll talk to Wade about it. He breaks it down in 6-minute intervals. That's how he looks at the game. He kind of looks at the first 6 minutes, the middle 6 minutes, the last 6 minutes. He wants to win those parts of the game. And last night, the last 6 minutes, as Randy Lanois points out, it may not be matched on how good they've played under Wade. I mean, they were defending. They were out and running. They weren't turning the ball over. They were making their free throws, which it came down to a free throw shooting contest for a period of that game, and they weren't even hitting the rim when they were getting to the line. It was a sign of a very confident team. I love the spark that Eric Gaines gives you.
Me too, dude.
I mean,
he's so athletic, dude.
He's so athletic where he's one of those athletes that doesn't look like he's going full speed. He kind of plays with his shirt untucked type guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where he's just very loose and but I mean, he is gliding and
then he jumps
defending.
And his eyes are even with the rim. You're like, oh my
I mean,
God.
That's
dude.
where you really get a sense of his athleticism. I think his open floor speed is something where his athleticism is on display, and then when he leaps, when he jumps, he's got that wow factor.
Bro, he's 6'2", and he tries to throw it down over people.
He came up
like
last night when he got fouled on a layup attempt where he was going to put it in that kid's forehead.
He tries to embarrass people, dude, when he dunks it. And he's 6'2". Like I say, 6'2". Like 6'2" is like it's a tall,
short basketball.
Yeah, it's a short basketball player. So you think you look at him on the court and you think he's 5'9", but I mean, he's 6'2". Like, that's a tall guy. On the basketball court, not so much. But to be 6'2" and say, I don't care if you're 7 feet tall, I'm gonna try to dunk over you. That's impressive, dude.
When he decides to play defense and they do that they put that pressure defense on people.
They're a different team when he does that.
Oh my God, they squeeze the life out of him.
He's got the hands. He's got the hands a little bit like Tremont. Like
he'll
the guy
snap
get
that
body
behind.
Get you. Yep.
I mean, he's done that probably about 4 or 5 times already this season, and has not been called on a foul for it. Usually, you'll see a call come, but he's so clean on it.
Yeah, and that leads to easy layups because now you're at the top of the key. You do it. The ball's going to go to your guy, and you're going to get the outlet pass, and you get the easy layup.
They did run a great give and go for him last night, where he fed the top of the key, and for whatever reason, he got to the left side of the rim and didn't. He bricked the layup. That was the only.
He probably wanted to dunk it.
I couldn't believe he didn't.
Yeah.
But that was the only. That's the only play really I've seen him kind of where you're like, what is he doing? I mean,
he's gonna have those moments.
He will,
because you remember last year, even when he was out on the court, you could see flashes of how talented he was. But his athleticism kind of got him into trouble in spots where he was trying to do things he probably shouldn't have been. He played a little out of control. But when he's right and he's on playing defense like that, it's gonna be tough to keep him off the floor.
He's like our Rajon Rondo.
And it shows you
Beverly.
A sign of the depth, in my opinion, is when you have a night like Xavier Pinson had last night, where he just can't get it going. He just can't. He can't find a rhythm. You can go to a guy like Eric Gaines who can carry you through.
100 miles an hour coming in.
It just, I think, a great testament of how deep this team is, on how exciting they are.
And this is without our best player. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, no,
Think about that. Think about that.
I think Pinson's done a good job of kind of taking a back seat whenever he hasn't forced it yet.
Yeah.
Like, you would expect a point guard to come in, hasn't really, obviously hasn't played for LSU.
Yeah.
He finds himself in the flow of the game, and he doesn't force himself
to
take
his
stupid
demeanor
shots.
on the court, for
Absolutely.
sure.
He knows that he can be pass first.
You can tell he's a senior, like the way, I love it.
32 minutes last night for Pinson, 10 points, 7 assists.
Those assists are creeping up every game.
They are. 2 turnovers. I think the only, the stat that jumps out on Pinson is he was 0 for 4 from behind the arc. He does have a weird shot.
Sometimes you don't need it.
He needs to knock those down. 5 of 12 from the field. You like that shooting percentage to get in a little bit better. But I mean, a 10.7 assist night from your point guard is you'll take it when your backup point guard plays 30 minutes, scores 10, steals 5, and hands out 3 assists. Now, he's got 4 turnovers. He's got to clean that stat line up.
That's what you get
but
with
you
him, though.
know you're getting that with him.
because he tries for the flash play. Yeah.
6 of 6 from the free throw line last night, though. I mean, he really puts pressure on defense, does Eric Gaines. Fun to watch that LSU basketball team play here early in the season as the Tigers get a big win last night versus Liberty, and they will look forward to McNeese coming up here later this week before Belmont next week. So this is a really interesting part of the schedule here coming up for LSU basketball that we will talk about with Will Wade coming up here at 8 a.m. this morning. Remember, daily, we're brought to you by RMB Contractors, RMB Construction. You can find those guys online at rmb-builders.com. rmb-builders.com. They can custom design a home for you. If you want to custom design a house, they can build that for you. If you need total reconstruction, remodel job, they have done that for us over here at the UDL and over at my house. They've really helped us out and done real quality work. Very easy to work with our friends over at RMB Builders. Rhett Bourgeois and his crew. Find them online, rmb-builders.com, rmb-builders.com to get in touch with RMB. Jeremy Weiss says, how good would this team be with Adam Miller? It's scary to think about that, man. The brutality of sports sometimes and the hands that you can be dealt is a what if that this team will play for a long time. But, it is kind of what it is at this point, and LSU's off to a 3-0 start, but it is scary to think about where LSU could be with Adam Miller on this team, just to kind of, it's kind of a domino effect.
Yeah.
Brandon Murray doesn't get as many minutes. You can kind of slow develop him.
Maybe Days doesn't feel like he needs to score 27 a night right now, but I don't know, dude. The way he's shooting the ball
as much.
Yeah, and look, I'm not complaining because they're fun to watch, and I can't wait. I can't watch.
It just seems like
I love watching Darius Days shoot. He lets that thing go, bro. He shoots out rainbows.
And look, he was struggling early on last night. He was kind of trying to find it, but that's what you really appreciate about Days is that. He got amnesia. You know what I mean? He's gonna keep firing it up.
Jab step backs. He is last year and last years past. It's you're gonna get a bunch of rebounds. You're gonna play hard and you're gonna pick and pop game.
Quarter 3.
No, not this year.
This
year you're gonna get the ball and you're gonna create your own offense.
He has put it on the floor a good bit. There's no way he can keep shooting like this though. It has to. The other shoe has to drop at some point.
I don't know, man. You would think so.
He's
you would
not
think that he would go through a spell. But
I don't think he's forcing it either. But
I don't think he is
going
either.
In.
If you remember the way he finished last year, which he finished it very strong, to the way he's starting it this year, to everything that we've heard and seen from the offseason work for him, maybe this is who he is.
Hey, dude,
maybe this is who he is. Because it's not like he's Steph Curry out there.
Right.
I mean, he's going through some struggles, but finding it.
Yeah. I find this I compare this to a baseball guy, right? So when you hit, you could have some spurts and you up and down, but then when it finally clicks and you realize
this is who I am.
This is what it feels like, and this is how I'm supposed to be. It's when you go through that, the valleys are not valleys anymore. They're just little bumps, and you stay more level and you're more consistent. And I feel like something clicked for him and he figured out something and he's like, you know what, this is me.
Final 6:27 last night. LSU went on a 27-6 run. Will Wade said about Darius Days following last night's game, I think he can be the SEC Player of the Year. That's how good he is. Talking about Days and his 20-point second half performance last night, where he was 6 of 7 shooting from the field and 4 of 5 from behind the arc in the final 20 minutes of last night's game, where LSU beat Liberty handily by 16 points. That Liberty team is going to win plus 20 games, going to be in the tournament.
Hey, they're
very well coached.
Their point guard is good, man.
Very well coached.
He is good.
What's his name? Number 22, who had 22 for him last night. Let me get that for you. I got a box score for you right here. His name is Kyle Rode.
No.
No, I'm sorry. Darius McGee. Yes, Darius McGee.
They said his name a million times.
Had 35 minutes. He had 22 points last night. 7 of 17 from the field. 6 of 7 from the free throw line. Played really good basketball. So LSU back on the wood later this week versus McNeese. And we will talk to Will Wade about that performance coming up here at 8 o'clock this morning. If you're in the chat with us, whether it's on Facebook or whether it's on YouTube, JordyCulottaShow.com. If you're watching this later and you're not watching it live, please hit that like button, dislike button, interact with us, comment, share. We appreciate that very much. Ed Orgeron was speaking to the media yesterday, and I thought some of his comments were pretty funny, man. I mean, Orgeron is just kind of like he
doesn't want to take the
totally
he doesn't want to take it, huh?
He is standing his ground. You know what I mean? Like
he's office space. He's in office space right now, where he's like going to meet with his bosses or what have you. And he's like, I don't really give a shit what you're saying to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna tell you what I think. I'm
got a meeting with the Bobs this morning.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Man, like,
every meeting's like,
I don't know, Bob.
I don't know.
I gotta get out of here. I gotta get to the beach at 11 o'clock.
It's a work day.
But
he's got to care. Like he just doesn't care.
Yeah,
but the thing about it is, okay, yes, he doesn't care, but like. Some of the stuff he's saying is what he's been saying since before he got fired.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
He's putting blame on other people. He's, it's just like, look, it's like a half. Like, half is my fault, but like half not my fault. Like, it's not one foot in, one foot out type of thing.
He's not owning all of it. The thing that really is going to get him, I don't want to say get him in trouble, but get him in hot water with other people. Certainly Jake Peets is what he's doing to Jake
now.
Peets.
I mean, that's
no, I know, but like in coaching circles, I would imagine if you're Jake Peets, like, dude, you're gonna make it to where I can't get a job ever again. Like, you're killing my career.
Absolutely.
And I came here on the leap of faith because you told me I could do this. Like, he's screwing him on the back end.
Yes and no. I mean, Jake Peets, I think, has shown people that he's not ready to be an offensive coordinator.
Right, but now it's gonna be hard to hire him for any job.
Yeah, you're talking. Yeah. I think he's just talking what Lloyd is referencing, because I agree with Lloyd. I mean, you have to protect your reputation. You have to protect. Like yesterday's comment in which Orgeron was asked directly, and I believe Jacques asked him the question on his coordinators, and he said, look, these guys are new. There's a big learning curve. Was it a mistake or not? I won't say it was a mistake, but they do need to do a better job, and they know that. It's not like they're not working. I just think their inexperience level or their experience level may not have been what I needed for this job.
So that whole quote was okay until the end.
Yeah, it's like,
that's typical O.
It's And I don't think that he even really understands that he's calling himself out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he thinks that he is, continuing to discredit Jake Peets and just dump on Jake Peets, but all the while you're
the one who made
telling people what cost you your job.
Hey, he's cutting his nose off to spite his face.
Right.
Like, it's just you're doing this to yourself, and then you don't even realize it.
Your opening press conference when you were introduced as the LSU head football coach. You were the one that painted the picture of this was your responsibility. It was your responsibility to bring these guys in around you to really, for a lack of a better term, cover up your deficiencies, cover up your inability to be able to recognize that a wildcat call in the middle of the second quarter is a bad offensive play. And he's still admitting 35 years in the coaching business that I'm not an offensive guy. You're a football coach. I mean, how much football do you have to watch to understand that ain't a good call? We had been doing this all week on the practice field. Timeout. We're running what we know, right? I'm the coach. I'm making the decision. Rather than getting to the press conference and saying, that was their guy's call. I wish that we would have called it. Come on, man. It's on your feet.
Yep.
You're the head coach. You going to continue to sail these guys down the river? We'll talk more about it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, because I'm going to set up Frank.
Not only did he have, and when he got hired, not only did he say in his press conference and kind of made it to where, hey, this is what I have to do. This is what I have to hire.
Coach Wilson.
He had last year. He had obviously COVID, so he used it as a wash. He said, okay, and then this year before the year, he said, these are the guys that I hired. I made this decision. This is my job. This is what I did. These are my guys. So now they're not your guys. Now you're going to subtly throw Joe Brady out there saying, I trusted Joe Brady.
Shot at Joe Brady,
too. Joe Brady called a little shrapnel right there.
Yeah, he did.
He called a little stray bullet.
Well, I was just trying
what
to
do you
help
mean?
you.
Like, hey, dude, like, I didn't tell you that, like, he's the best guy, but I told you if you want a guy most like me, like, I like this guy. He's never called plays. I didn't tell you to hire him. I gave you a recommendation.
For somebody that knows this offense the way I know
Brady,
this offense.
Brady's sitting up in Carolina dealing with Cam Newton and Sam Darnold thinking, what's my one down in Baton Rouge?
Yeah.
Damn. Bunch all that championship, for God's sakes. All right, Frank Wilson, huge win last week for the Pokes. Get back on track as McNeese with a big one down at Houston Baptist. They will close out the season. This weekend is senior day for the Pokes, and as you heard Orgeron yesterday talk about with the 8 o'clock kickoff for LSU this Saturday night, that means that will have a chance to be over at McNeese Stadium, over at Cowboy Stadium in Lake Charles, as Northwestern is in town. The Cowboys took care of Northwestern a couple of weeks back on October 16th up in Natchitoches. So a good opportunity for the Pokes to finish the season on a high note. Coach Wilson is here with us, just like he is every Tuesday, and we welcome him into the conversation. Coach, nice win. Congratulations. Good morning.
Thank you so much. Good morning, you guys as well.
Yes, sir. 44-3, your team wins on Saturday. It was it seemed like a real nice Saturday and a get-right game for the Pokes. What did you see from your group?
Yeah, it all came together. Finally we were hitting on all cylinders. The first drive we got the ball offensively. First several drives we drove down. Didn't get it in early on in the first quarter initially, and then a big stop by our defense. All-American Isaiah Chambers strips the ball, all-conference player. Mason Kinsey picks it up, runs into the end zone. And from that point on, I really thought we found the groove. You look at overall another week of stellar play from our defensive unit. Gave up 7 yards rushing total, less than 200 yards total offense, 180 yards or so total offense. And then offensively, to go 100% in the red zone, to have some over 500 yards total offense, I just thought things really began to click for us, and we just played with a spirit about ourselves where we really enjoyed the success of teammates as guys made plays throughout the duration of the day.
Coach, we have mentioned and talked about Isaiah Chambers a couple of times before here during this spot. He was named Southland Conference's Defensive Player of the Week for his performance on Saturday, where he had 2 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss, forced a pair of fumbles, had a pass breakup in your 44-3 win. On the season, he's leading the league with 9.5 sacks and moved into 8th all-time into school history with 17 career sacks. You've coached some great ones. What makes Chambers great?
I just think that he's a well-rounded guy, one who can he came in as a sophisticated pass rusher, a guy who had skill set to come off the edge, and developed himself into a complete player where he is sound in run defense coming to him. He's sound in run defense going away from him. He takes on double teams. He's gained muscle and strength in himself. And then he added to his arsenal of ways to get to the quarterback in his pass rush ability. But now he also recognized to make the play don't mean necessarily every time to make the sack. That sometimes you collapse the pocket and you can push him, the defender or the quarterback, the other way. Just get him outside of that comfort zone, get him off of his spot, and turn him over to your buddy. And those things don't come in the box. You don't see a sack for it or a cost, but he's been tremendously disruptive for us up front in collapsing the quarterback pocket, which has allowed us to play outstanding since the bye week. Prior to our bye week, I think we may have had 5 turnovers. Since then, we've had 19.
Wow.
And so we've been lights out, which gives us a 14 plus 14 on turnover ratio on the year, which is second in FCS football. 5 turnovers created last week. 2 of them by young Quad Wilson, a fumble recovery and an interception on the day. So proud of him as well.
Love that.
Yeah.
What's your message to your first senior class, Coach, as you'll have senior day this Saturday versus Northwestern State?
Yeah, we tell them often that, they gave life to us, for our staff and the guys that are here. They were the ones that bred life into us, that allowed us to have a season when there was none, when we were left for dead and they said we wouldn't play again. They were the ones that stayed, the ones that competed, the ones that on Saturday you saw big smiles and tremendous hugs and our culture come to the forefront, a culture where a guy can sincerely take joy in another man's success. Mm-hmm. That kind of what I just talked about by the Isaiah Chambers, that he didn't even make the sack, but he collapsed it enough and he spilled it over to his brother on the other side, and he made the sack. And his joy is as great for him as it is when he makes it himself. And when we're able to do those things in all three phases of the game, it trends in the right direction for us. It's everything that we're looking for in our football team to allow us to have success for long term.
We have talked about your schedule, and you have had to play teams multiple times on the schedule. Some you've been successful against, some you've been close towards. Northwestern, you defeated them in Natchitoches a couple of weeks back, and you'll play them on Saturday. What's the challenges in playing somebody twice, and what are the challenges that Northwestern, the Demons, present to you?
Yeah, a real one. It's challenging. It's hard to go beat a person twice in one season. And they're a quality team. They play two different quarterbacks. That gives them various arsenals to be able to attack you. They're solid on defense. They're a competitive football team that have a couple of wins under their belt in this season. And so each time we played them, it's been a tough one. 75 plus years, longer than anyone else in the conference. So it's always a big deal for them to play well. And so for us, it's about us. It's about playing to the best of our ability. It's about sending our seniors out the right way. It's about finishing at home in front of our home crowd to the best of our ability. And so although there are tremendous challenges in this game, because they'll come to win, but so will we. We'll practice well. We've had a start to this week already. Hopefully we can continue that through the duration, and the game will be decided way before Saturday based on how we practice this week. And so big week for us in preparation.
Go Pokes, baby. They pay you to win football games. They pay you to oversee the football program. But last week, McNeese was in the news because they were staying in the Southland Conference, which was some pretty big news for Southland Conference participants after the WAC had extended an invitation to you guys at McNeese to join from just an athletic community. As the football coach, what was your reaction to that decision?
I was good with it. I was excited about the opportunities that has been presented to us. And so we have championship events. We have conference, convention, things that we were able to, our president was able to work in collaboration with the other university presidents of the Southland Conference that will allow us, still in our recovery process, hurricane relief process. And so from an economic standpoint, you couldn't ask for more. It allows us to give back and to help. And so with those events coming to Lake Charles for the next foreseeable future, the next 5-6 years was a deal breaker for us to help our economic plight that we've been in and to bring revenue within our city, our parish, our state. And so that was tremendous for us, for our fans, to not to have to travel across country just yet. Still while we're in the building phase, to be able to be here for home game, to travel to nearby Natchitoches, to Hammond, to Thibodaux, was important to us. It's important to have our support of our fans that are right now not in position to go across the country. And although it was a great offer, gesture of the WAC, we still, our long-term goal is still to put us in position to be FBS. And so we think that path could be attained from the Southland. And also there are several other benefits that made it a no-brainer for us. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be here and to play the teams in this state.
LeBear's Casino over in Lake Charles will host the Southland's Football Media Day next summer, starting in 2023 for the next 4 years. McNeese will host both the men's and women's conference basketball tournaments, as well as the baseball and softball tournaments starting in 23. So really some exciting times coming up in Lake Charles. Yes, they would be. Coach, recruiting, you move into that part of the schedule here now in the final playing week and going into early signing periods before the February signing date. I know that you were working relentlessly on the path and on the trail. What has been the message to potential Pokes throughout this process and kind of coming down the stretch here before early signing period?
Yeah, the early signing period is now the norm, Jordy.
Yeah.
So spent the last several days, several weeks just really honing it down. Going to walk into a staff meeting here for 8 and talk about those guys that we're sending NLI and financial aid agreements out, making sure we have all the data that we need from an email, home address, issue, and all those things that rear its head. You learn something every year. Forever, we mailed it and waited by the fax machine and all that. Well, with technology, we got fancy, and we emailed things out to guys. And on National Signing Day last year, we lost one. We lost one on signing day because he didn't have his paperwork in front of him.
Oh, no.
Because we had to email it, and they didn't have a printer, and he wanted to go to the school, and the head coach had it, and the head coach didn't give it to him, and we put ourselves in harm's way. And so and I kicked myself because I know better. I know better that those things get sent out as early as Monday before Thanksgiving. You send it out Monday before Thanksgiving, before the December 15th signing day, in preparation for when we go out the week of the 29th, that at-home visits, you were able to go through what your mock scholarship, line by line, inch by inch. What does a scholarship encompass of? This is how you apply for school. This is your FAFSA for Pell Grant. This is where you'll live. And you cover everything from A to Z. That was very challenging last year with pandemic because you couldn't do home visits and everything was online, and it was just very challenging. And so when we're in the homes, we're at our best. And we'll have an in-home visit presentation that'll knock your socks off, that'll confirm to you all the reasons why it's McNeese. And so that'll happen first day out Sunday. On Sunday, we're in home. So, we got guys traveling as early as Saturday. I'm talking the 28th, 29th that week.
Opposing coaches used to say, don't let Frank Wilson in the living room. If you let him in the living room, it's over, bro. It's over. It's a shot for second place if you let Wilson in the living room. Go get him, Coach. Go Pokes. Finish strong. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Thank you so much. Go Pokes.
Yes, sir.
Go Pokes.
There he is, Frank Wilson, checking in from Southwest Louisiana. Big news there with the Pokes staying put in the Southland Conference.
That's huge for the Southland.
Hell of a negotiating ploy by the AD down there to get everything. Got everything.
They sweetened the pot for sure.
I mean, good Lord. Baseball media days, baseball, basketball, softball, women's basketball tournaments, all down in Lake Charles. But good for them. They deserve it.
I mean, they had to keep them there from going into. I mean, they turned down an FBS offer, right?
Yes.
The WAC is an FBS. So.
Yeah. Well, and look, that's their, as Frank said, that's their ultimate goal.
Mm-hmm.
And no. The WAC is FCS. Yes.
Who's in the WAC?
It was a lateral move.
Okay.
It would have been a lateral move, but it could have fast tracked them.
Yes. They probably turned down a pretty good deal, if I would imagine. No, with my vast knowledge of the Southland Conference, having worked there, I'm sure that they had to sweeten the pot. And it's good on the Southland to be able to bring all that to Lake Charles because it's going to help the economy. They need all that.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
money
the
to come
WAC
in.
is like Abilene Christian, California Baptist, Chicago State,
They're moving all over the
Dixie
place.
State,
the traveling.
Grand Canyon,
Never mind.
Lamar University, New Mexico State, Sam Houston State, Seattle, Stephen F. Austin.
Well, that's a tough
Tarleton.
Where's Tarleton?
It looks like it's in Texas. UT Rio Grande Valley, Utah Valley.
Yeah, that's a lot of
you know
travel.
what I mean? Southern
That's a
Utah
lot of
coming in
travel. All right,
2022.
never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
We'll take football media day, please.
Yeah.
The tournament.
Yes.
Wait, did some of those teams leave the Southland to go to the WAC?
Yeah, Sam Houston?
Sam Houston and Stephen F. Did you say Stephen F. Austin?
Yeah.
Where was Lamar at?
Lamar's
in Houston?
Yeah, Lamar was the Southland team too,
Was it?
I believe.
Yeah, they're in Beaumont.
So
right?
they snagged a couple.
All right.
The real power over there. In the
Daily,
WAC.
we're brought to you by GoFlow. Remember, online at GeauxFlow.com, GoFlow.com. Baton Rouge Premier IV Spa, helping and specializing in IV hydration treatments with vitamin infusion. Get in touch with them online at GeauxFlowIV.com. That is GoFlowIV.com. Will Wade coming up here in 15 minutes. Before we were talking about or got into our conversation with Coach Frank Wilson, which we appreciate very much every week. Make sure you like, share, and comment. We were talking about yesterday's press conference with Ed Orgeron. And remember, if you are suffering from things like chronic dehydration, athletic performance that you want to see get better, illness recovery, hangover cure, chronic illness, get over to GoFlow IV, GEAUX Flow IV.com. I really hate to get into
no, you don't.
this stuff. I really, at this point, I kind of do, because there's no new take.
Right.
There's nothing new. And by the way, I had an LSU representative come up to me yesterday at the press conference and say, everybody around here says that you're to blame for saying that Pete's left practice early on Wednesday. I said, are you effing kidding me? I mean, like, are you serious? I said, well, from what I said on Sunday night, I said I was talking about the broadcast in which Cole Kubelik has come out on Twitter and had to clarify what he was saying. I was going off of what was said during the
national broadcast
on Saturday. I had no inside information. Yeah. I mean, everybody knows that over at LSU, I mean, that they're not going to give me that information, right? Like, I was just going off of what the broadcast said. And
love blaming other people.
It was unbelievable. I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, like, are you serious that, but I mean, I know that that's Panamsky and crew behind the scenes.
Glass.
Yeah. I mean, just anytime he hears anything negative, I mean, he's so insecure about what's going on outside of the football walls, and it's closing in on him. I mean, like, every day that passes is one day, or it's one day closer to him being back out into the public, of him having to go out there and look for work, like go and sit in front of somebody and say, the last 5 years, I know I tried to cut everybody out and screw everybody over, but I need a job. And for whatever reason, and don't let me get off of that. What I'm saying is, I didn't have any information from anybody over at LSU that Pete's left the building. All I did was watch the replay of the game to hear it. That's where I heard it from. I didn't hear it from anybody at LSU. The national broadcast told me that. That's it. And Kubelik came out and clarified
was after practice.
What he was talking about. Like, it was after practice, and told them to hang out and them figure it out. And
which is, look, that's a normal thing.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. And look, man, I get that frustration boils over on a practice football field on a team that's only won 4 games.
Yep.
I mean, I understand that. I understand that people are pissed and people are annoyed and aggravated, and you don't want people out there talking about you. And I just want that on the record, that I was never told by anybody that Pete's left practice. I just watched the broadcast. I just watched the ESPN replay. I DVR'd it after I got home from the game on Saturday night. I watched it on Sunday morning, and I heard that there. But it's, I thought Orgeron's press conference was typical Orgeron press conference. I mean, like, that's kind of who he is. I mean, the potential of that Texas A&M Monday presser and or the Texas A&M post-game presser is almost must-watch television.
No doubt.
Because of kind of the mentality of where he is right now. I mean, he kind of made the reference, kind of like shunned off the writers, whoever was talking about him, running the bus over as assistant coach as he kind of stepped away.
Pretend like he didn't know what buses are.
Right.
I mean, he's got some weird analogies that he makes because of where he's from that are just...
We don't have buses where I'm from.
It kind of derails the entire thing.
How do y'all get to school?
Yeah, well, I guess...
Horse and buggy.
The shrimp boat.
Yeah, right. Ride the P-row.
Ride the P-row. That's what's going to be PJ Fleck if he'd have gotten here.
But
rode the P-row. Yeah, we can do some stuff here.
Hey, get on there, get a little graphic.
There you go. So Cole Kubelik tweeted out he didn't quit practice. During practice, he explained the quarterbacks had a bad day. Why would Cole Kubelik need to explain that if I was the one that broke the news? I mean, like, really and truly.
Cole must have texted you on the side.
Yeah, right.
What do I say?
Panamsky, ask yourself that. Why would your boy Cole Kubelik have to tweet that out if I'm the one that broke the news? Jeez, man. I mean, can the next 2 weeks go by fast enough to get these clowns out of here? I mean, really, get them out of the way of LSU football. Because if they become bowl eligible, if they win the next 2 games, which is
could happen.
It could, but I mean, it's a long. I mean, there's no way that they allow them to coach this game, right? There's no way that they allow him to hang out for 5 more weeks potentially, 4 more weeks.
Who else
potentially?
Coach it?
Maybe somebody on the new staff brings in somebody and you allow them to coach it. I don't know.
No,
but
that's a shit show,
You
too.
can't allow Panamsky and Orgeron to hang out for another month
Because that's what they would be doing.
Absolutely. They ain't going anywhere.
Session.
They're not going anywhere.
Good old kickback at LSU football.
I mean, he's been walking around the building just tweeting and surfing social media for the last 6 months anyway.
You mean 6 years?
Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, I don't know what Panamsky has done for LSU football other than drive it into the graveyard anyway. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to give this guy an extra month just to chill around a state-run facility that they're just kind of using it as their own and not doing anything to benefit the state from it. There's no way that you can allow Orgeron and Panamsky and that crew to coach during the bowl. I don't know. And like we talked about it yesterday, it's a double-edged sword because I think that that's something that they're weighing, that they want that crew out of there as fast as possible, that the upper-level executives at LSU are so tired of the Orgeron Monday press conference having to go back and deal with the stuff that he's saying into the public and the things that are happening behind the scenes with Panamsky and that crew, where they're just like, fellas, ladies, get them out of here. I don't know if we just self-sacrifice the bowl again, speaking from LSU standpoint, and just, look, the NCAA is still on our ass.
Here's another sanction.
Look,
We'll take this.
Here's a self-penalized sanction. Keep this bowl. Keep those 15 practices. You know what I mean? We've just got to get to 2022. You just got to get to the next level of the program.
Right, because
he's just poking the bear. He just pokes the bear. Can't poke the bear.
Because you argued that you would want those extra practices for the young guys.
Tack Minor?
Tack Minor.
Tack Minor. Doesn't he have a recruit? Can we do this?
He does.
But you would argue that you want LSU and the young guys to have that extra practice, but do you want them to have that practice with the people that are currently on staff?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Those are things they're going to have to unlearn later. But
yes.
We worked 5 weeks on this. It's like, you shouldn't have.
I mean, I'd rather just that time period to be able to re-recruit them. You know what I mean?
Take
like
them to the beach.
Get the staff in here and let them know what it's going to look like, who's it going to be, and get them, committed to, LSU.
Because, I mean, if you want to go down this highway, LSU would hopefully have definitely going to make a hire before the bowl game hits, right? Yep. That's what you would expect.
Yes, I would expect that it gets past Monday of post-Texas A&M.
Right, but then they're not going to be able to transition their staff in for a bowl game if it's.
I don't know, Lloyd.
Do we think the decision's already made on the new coach? Do we think?
I think that they learned over the weekend on who it's not going to be.
Right.
More than they've learned who it's going to be.
So you don't think he's actually has a decision? The guy knows. They don't think any of that. You don't think that it's final yet?
To me, over the weekend, Jimbo Fisher and Mel Tucker told him no. I don't know that. I don't know that. I've got no information. Nobody's told me that. But when I look at Mel Tucker negotiating a new deal in East Lansing, and I look at Jimbo Fisher's comments yesterday that were very forthright, much more forthright than they were 4 weeks ago when he was talking about, I love Baton Rouge.
Y'all mentioned Baton Rouge.
It's a good town. I mean, it's a good town. I mean, do you want to go there? I mean, are you going back? He left the door open. Yesterday, I thought he slammed the door shut. If he takes the LSU job, yesterday's press conference will live on forever for him.
That's not
Absolutely.
good.
You know what I mean?
It's the Nick Saban press conference.
It's worse than the Nick Saban's press conference.
I would say so, too.
Saban said a sentence that he was pushed, prodded. I mean, like, he had to, his face, he's blushing when he says it. I mean, he's like, I'm not going to be the coach at Alabama. Like, knowing deep down, I got to say this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Jimbo was like, I'd be dumb to take that job. You know what I mean? Like he was like, he's just like out there like saying, and I agree with him.
He's right.
I've
been being on there, they're going on down the road, and then look who I got to play.
Go back to 2 weeks ago. That's what I said. Why would you leave Texas A&M?
Yep.
The things that you're accomplishing, the money that you're making, the things that you're
pressure.
And they love you.
If you were doing that in Baton Rouge, they'd want to run your ass out of here.
You'd be ahead on
and he knows that.
State. Oh yeah,
he knows that. Why would you want to sign up for this part of your career? 2015.
Absolutely.
If Scott Woodward's here, Jimbo Fisher today is the head coach at LSU.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, he looked at Oliva and saw his incompetence and saw that the rug got pulled out under Oliva. And probably best case scenario for everybody, Jimbo, LSU, the fan base, everybody, that it didn't happen. And, I just think that ship has sailed. And I think that yesterday's comments was more to the line of he told Woodward over the weekend, look, Scotty, boy, I know that you want me. I know that this is the 4th or 5th time we've talked. I know this is the 3rd time you offered, but I'm staying. I'm staying here. I'm staying put. And I don't know that. That's just what it looks like to me. And it also looks like Mel Tucker is kind of taking his name out of it with the negotiation that came out of his new contract, agreed to terms to a new deal that's going to pay him upwards of $6.5 to $7 million a year. He's now in that community of coaches that, you're well compensated. You don't have to go to the SEC.
Yeah, and
if you don't want to go to the SEC and get into that, bar fight every weekend.
Yep.
Why?
It's not
collect your $7 million at Michigan State.
And it's not an indictment on the LSU program either. Like, it's not like, oh, they don't want to go because it's LSU. They don't want to go because they don't want to put themselves in a situation where it's like, hey, I have a pretty good gig here. I don't have as much pressure as I would have at LSU. I don't want to go to LSU and go 7-4 one year and want to get fired. Like, I like where I'm at. I can win where I'm at. I'm going to stay where I'm at. I don't think it's an indictment on, like, where LSU's program is. I don't want the fans to think,
I don't think so either.
Nobody wants to come here. Like, no, that's not it.
Coaches that know their limitations.
Yeah, that's not it. Exactly.
Look, if I'm giving my self-evaluation, if I'm just giving my personal evaluation of this, to me, I don't know why Jimbo would leave Texas
100%.
A&M. I don't know why he would leave where he's at. He seems to have everything in line that he wants. This morning, he picks up a commitment from Le'Veon Moss, the Baton Rouge running back out of Astruma.
Whoa.
See that?
He could be recruiting under the table
There's
for
no
LSU.
way. There's no way.
Let's go, Jimbo. Bring in
no
Walter
way.
Nolan. Bring in Le'Veon Moss.
First off, if that came out, I don't want him at LSU.
Why?
If he's on another man's payroll and taking in recruits and recruit
True.
true.
Give me the dirty
I'm with that.
Not in the SEC.
Not you, Lloyd.
Give me
You're
that
off.
dirty
I'm
I'm
off
off
you.
you. I'm off you, Lloyd.
Not in the SEC.
If Jimbo comes to LSU after this, like
He's
even
not.
after that press conference, he
I
would
don't know,
be
honestly.
the slimiest man to try to hold hands with. Because
And honestly,
that
I don't think people at LSU would like him for doing that.
He has to say something. He didn't have to say that much, which makes me think he's not coming. But if he does have to turn coat and do that, he will not be allowed back. And
Never. Could you imagine what those games would be like if he went back to College Station?
If Scott Woodward wants to have a guy that doesn't have any smoke around him, then you can't hire him now.
No.
That you can't hire Lane Kiffin. Obviously, Lane Kiffin's on the running, but you couldn't hire Lane Kiffin because of all the smoke.
Are we sure
you
Lane's not in the running?
He's not in the running.
I don't think he
haven't
is.
heard his name in quite some
not-
time.
he's not in the
I
running.
think he's out of it. I think, you know what? I think that this job is going to come down to Dave Aranda and Billy Napier.
Yep.
I think those are the two finalists. I think that they've
We've been
gotten
talking
past
about that
this weekend. And whatever the theory is, and Brandon Hollingsworth has a good theory. I believe it. He said, Mel Tucker isn't telling LSU no, and that's probably right. I mean, there's probably a sense of that where Mel Tucker looks at the LSU job as his Super Bowl. But he, as Hollingsworth says, he thinks what happened is that Woodward knows who his guy is and got confirmation, so he let Jimbo and Tucker know over the weekend, and that may be the instance.
Maybe
that may be the scenario.
I mean, Lincoln Riley hasn't said no either.
That's what I would say. At that point, fingers point at Lincoln Riley if that's the case, then, right? Because it seems like there was a lot of smoke over the weekend.
But then I also heard that over the weekend he did say no. But
See, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
I've heard that Lincoln Riley told
It's not publicly.
LSU executives no, but I don't know that from anybody that really knows.
Right.
Like,
Rumors.
I mean, everybody thinks they know, and I've told you this the entire time. Everybody wants inside. Nobody's getting inside information on this. Nobody has any information on this because this is how Woodward works. This is how he operates, man.
It's great. And it's so good for us.
Let's get back to this. We will get back to this. The Carpool Queen is here. We're going to bring her onto the set. Will Wade is going to be here next. LSU basketball rolled last night over Liberty in a final 6 minutes that I know Wade probably didn't even sleep over. We will talk to him.
Roll over.
I mean, this guy, spinning last night.
If he breaks down into 6 minute increments, he did not sleep.
Remember, Hebert's Specialty Meats is located on Highway 73 out in Gonzales. Highway 73 in the Dutchtown Shopping Center. Stop in if you want to grab a great turducken for your Thanksgiving meal. Stop in and check out Hebert's. In fact, I'm going to be on the news on Friday explaining what a turducken is.
Hey,
No way.
Yes.
Let's go.
And the origination of the turducken.
Let's
you
go.
know?
I do know it.
Are you
I
bringing
do
quotes
know
from
it.
John
Saving
Madden?
I do know it. I've got to save it for the news, bro.
Dude, you should get a telestrator out.
Yes, do the Madden.
Boom.
Yes, you cut here.
Boom.
Lloyd's a big save it guy. Save it for the show. Save it for Friday. Save it. Just save
Text
it.
can always be fun.
Hebert's Specialty Meats. Stop in and see him. Highway 73 and coming in Baton Rouge to Robert's Grocery Store on Highland Road in the Kenilworth Shopping Center right next to Superior Bar and Grill. Hebert's Specialty Meats. Remember, gift cards for the holidays. If you own a company, if you're in charge of personnel, if you manage a team, and you're thinking about holiday gift ideas, think about the gift cards over at Hebert's Specialty Meats. Get in touch with us here at Jordy@JordyCulottaShow.com. if you want to. We can place that order for you. Will Wade next, talking about LSU basketball beating Liberty last night. Boot up.
Wait, you can get food on our website?
What?
Is that what you just said?
Jordy? So email me for the gift cards.
Oh, okay. I thought you were ordering. I thought we were Jordy.item.
Uber
food
Eats
and a
out.
turkey.
Smoke more weed, Lloyd. Smoke more weed.
I am prescribed medically. Thank you, doctor.
Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Welcome back here to the Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show. 74-58 last night. Tigers roll over Liberty in front of a great crowd, a great Monday night 6 o'clock crowd. And shout out to the students, again, inside of the Maravich Center, as it has been great environments to start the season here. We made all 3 games, and LSU's atmosphere, the Maravich Center, seems to be back here early on in November on this schedule. Tigers will play McNeese on Thursday night. They'll be back at it 7 o'clock tip-off at the Maravich Center before Belmont on Monday night, which is going to be another fantastic game. Will Wade, the General, is here with us on this Tuesday morning. Good morning, sir. Boot up.
Boot up. How's everybody doing?
Hell yeah, everybody's great, man. What about that atmosphere, the environment you've been playing in front of before we talk about your team?
Yeah, it's been great. The students have been awesome. I think we had over 1,300 of them again last night. You know, they were wrapped around the ramps waiting to get in. So the student support's been great. I thought the arena got really loud when we got the press going. One thing about it, when you play defense like we do, and you're going to press and try to create a bunch of steals and force a bunch of turnovers, you know, having the crowd in the game and have the students there is huge, because our guys can feed off that, and you know, our guys have fed off the crowd, fed off the students so far, and so we need to keep it going. So I've been very excited. I love our fans. I love the students. It's been fun atmospheres for our guys. You know, that's why they work hard. So they put in all that hard work. That's why they come to LSU to play in great atmospheres, and you know, we got to keep it rolling.
You break down the game in 6-minute intervals. What'd you think of that last 6:26 last night?
It doesn't get much better than that. We made all of them. We talk about being solid on defense, making our free throws. We were 9 of 9 from the free throw line in the second half. We were 6 of 6 in the last 6 minutes, and don't turn the ball over. And we got a shot on the basket every time, except for a couple offensive fouls. We weren't as solid. We had we fouled twice on defense where we reached, but you know, I mean, our intensity, you know, just how hard we played that last 6 minutes. I thought we had So we had a lot left in the tank, and we were able to empty the tank that last 6 minutes.
You told Eric Gaines when you checked him in to bring the intensity. What more did he do? He was such a spark for you guys last night. What does he do for you when he gets in the lineup and plays like that?
Well, I mean, when the other team's got a guard as good as McGee, I mean, he can pretty much take him out of the game. He pressures him, then he's able to deny him, and he's just so quick. He's so quick twitch and can do multiple things, and so he's able to, he's able to really affect the game and taking somebody like that out of the game. But he made some great plays too. He's the one who made the assist to Murray on the corner three. Stepped out off 2 feet. They helped off the corner, made the right read, hit Murray on that corner three to give us the lead. So he made some really good plays. But yeah, his defensive energy, his defensive effort is infectious for our team. And so I always tell our guys, you want to be a good defensive team, you got to have a point guard out there that's sitting there and setting the tone, because everybody behind them sees the point guard. So if you got a lazy point guard out there who's not doing a whole lot to heat up the ball, that's kind of how the rest of the team's going to be. You got somebody out there that, like Gaines and just all over the place, hounding the ball, and that inspires the rest of the group to be down in the stance and ready to guard. And that's certainly what Eric does, because that sets the tone for what we want to do defensively.
What's different defensively besides the intensity? Because it seems like you're just emphasis on that part of the floor. I mean, you win possessions. It seems like you have won early on here. You're 3-0 a lot because of your defense. And when people think LSU basketball, you think the offensive number.
Well, there's a couple reasons. One, our defense hasn't been as bad as everybody makes it out to be. It's been our rebounding that's been more of the problem. Nobody wants to listen to me on that, but it has been our rebounding. And last night, we didn't rebound well in the first half. We gave up 8 offensive rebounds. We only gave up 7. We only gave up 1 in the entire second half. That's part of the reason we were able to do a better job. But, our rebounding has improved. We lost the rebounding last night by 1 for the first time in any of our exhibition scrimmages or any game. So we've won it in 4 out of 5, and we lost it last night by 1. So, and we'll get it corrected. We were overrunning some stuff, on some long shots and stuff that we can correct. We should have cut their offensive rebounds in about half. But so the rebounding's improving is the biggest reason our defense and our defensive numbers are better. And then, certainly we've got guys like Brandon Murray and Mwani. I know they don't show up. Murray obviously had a great game against Texas State, had a really good game last night as well, hit a big 3 and made some big plays. But, Murray is just tenacious defensively, and Mwani's the same way. And those guys bring high level defensive basketball IQ, and then you've got Epton back there who's like a goalie who can scare things away at the rim. He had a couple big blocks, a couple big rebounds. So, a lot of it's just personnel based. We've got some different personnel, and you got to play to your strengths. And we just got a gritty, tough group.
I loved your quote on Darius last night. I think he could be the SEC Player of the Year. That's how good he is. 26 last night for him. Hit 5 3-pointers in the second half. He kept shooting it, man, and he started to get into that rhythm. What is your message to Days on nights like last night where it takes him a minute to find it, but once he finds it, you're a different team?
Well, I was so happy. Last night, to me, was the surest sign of his growth. He's always played really well when he gets off to good starts, and we've really tried to talk to him about just sticking with it and do it, and him and Vernon Hamilton from my staff are really close. And they talk about it all the time, and I talk about it with Dave. Just staying with your routine, trusting your work, not panicking. When your first couple shots don't go in, and last night was the first time his first shot or two didn't go in. He missed his first 2, and so last night was the surest sign of growth that we've had with him, and I couldn't be more pleased and more proud, because last season, last night when he missed the first 2, that had turned into a really, really bad night for him. And he ended up having a great night. And our guys have a lot of confidence in him. They look for him. We find him in transition. Teams lose him in transition all the time, so we do a good job finding him in transition. And he's a heck of a player.
You mentioned Efton and his defensive presence. He had 2 blocks last night, but he disrupts so many things. 13 points for him in 20 minutes of action. What have you made of the 5-star here in the early part of his college process?
Well, he's just so cerebral. That's the number one thing. You know, he was disappointed with how he played on Friday against Texas State. I knew he'd bounce back. We thought, it's a big 3 hit to take it from 6 to 9 in the corner. He's a good shooter. And then, he did some really, really good things down low. That was a tough rebound on the offensive tip end where he got fouled. And so he's just a great person, very cerebral player, understands what's going on, has a high basketball IQ. And I mean, it doesn't get any better than that ball screen and short roll, and he hits that little 10, 12-footer. I mean, that's his big time of that play in the second half there. That's his big time of play, as you'll see. When you got a big guy that can score in the low post, can make threes, and can short what the NBA calls a short roll, kind of a logo roll there to the SEC and knock that in. I mean, you got a real player, and Efton's certainly that.
We have mentioned this team in the preseason, all the chemistry that you were building and what it looks like these guys, how much love they have for each other, whether it be on social media when you see them. I think Darius Days and Eric Gaines were showing that off last night in the post-game press conference when Days was talking about Gaines holding him accountable. Can you talk about the chemistry of this team early on and what you see from this group?
Well, we've got good rhythm. We've got good chemistry. I've always felt like, an 8-9-man rotation is perfect. Really, 8. Year we won the SEC, we had an 8-man rotation. Nobody's really that salty. Everybody pretty much plays is relatively pleased with their minutes. You may have 1 or 2 each night, or 1 each night. He's not really all that pleased, but I think it just makes for better chemistry, makes for better camaraderie. Everybody knows how much they're going to play. Everybody knows they're going to play a lot. And I think that just helps with the team and helps everybody understand what they're going to get that night. So, our guys like each other. We got great kids. They enjoy spending time with each other. I went to eat after the game last night to start working on McNeese with Coach Chambers, and at the table next to us was Sharif, Fudge, and Gaines, and our managers walked in and they sat at the table next to them. It's everybody. It's not just our players. It's everybody in the program just goes above and beyond. Sean Eddy, our athletic trainer, he got in the car last night, drove to Houston, on a plane right now to LA to go with Adam to his checkup.
Wow.
And he's going to fly back on a red eye tonight.
Wow.
I mean, you just talk about guys that go above and beyond. We've got a bunch of people in our program that'll do anything for our players, help our players out, and we got great people, and you win with great people.
George the Greek hopped into our conversation real quick and asked a really good question. Ask Coach Wade, how does a healthy Sharif O'Neal fit into this lineup?
He's somebody that can continue to help us on the boards. He can stretch defenses by making threes. He's a good offensive threat and offensive weapon. So, certainly when we can get him healthy and get him back out there, he can certainly help us. Justice Williams is actually going to be able to practice tomorrow, which will be good to kind of see him out there in a limited role, see what he can do. So he's a little bit further ahead than Sharif right now, but hopefully we can get back to full strength here soon.
You do many things great in the college basketball game. You recruit, coach it up, and have become one of the dominant minds in college basketball. But I think the thing you do best is probably schedule. How beneficial will that Liberty game and win be for you in March?
Oh, it'll be huge. I mean, they're gonna chuck off 24, 25 wins again. They've got a tough non-conference schedule. But they're gonna win a ton of games. That's a heck of a team. They're physical. They're obviously extremely well coached. And I mean, there were NBA scouts there last night to see our guys and to see McGee. I mean, he's a legit NBA prospect. He's got a 48-inch vertical.
Wow!
He's able to rise up.
My God!
You should see some of the. I wish I could show you some of the edit clips from some of the games. I mean, he doesn't even see the basket. He's throwing it in. For him to. We did a good job forcing him to miss shots last night, but they've got a legitimate NBA prospect. They've got physical guys around them. We did a good job on roadie. On road, I mean, he does a good job initiating their offense. He's like a point forward. We were able to guard him, but Peebles, their freshman got going, but they're a really good team. It'll be a great win for us on Selection Sunday, as will the Texas State win. And we got some other great opportunities.
Yeah.
We got some other great opportunities on the horizon here.
Yeah, Belmont coming in a week from last night.
You got to schedule them. Tell our guys all the time. You get a lot of credit for scheduling them, but the scheduling's only half the equation. You got to win them too.
That's right. That's the most important part.
What happened at the 7-minute mark? What was the technical over? I thought you did a lot of things worse than that leading up to that. Was just accumulation?
What do you say?
I don't know.
Was that the first time you've ever been teed up 50 last time out? Texas State, you got teed up 50.
That was the first time. So that's the first time for everything, I guess.
What was your reaction to Colbert when you checked him into the game and he had no jersey on?
That was something else. I've been doing it a long time. He like us. We were getting ready to run out for the game yesterday. He lifted his warm-up shirt up. Jersey on us. That's great, Jarrell.
You might not get in tonight.
Good job.
You got no helmet.
Great win last night, Coach. Thank you for the time this morning. We'll see you soon. Boot up.
Thanks,
Boot
guys.
up.
Boot up.
Yes, sir. There he is, the man. Will Wade checking in this morning here on this Tuesday.
No jersey.
After the could you imagine?
Oh man,
What was the deal with
that's like a
that?
high
What
school.
happened?
He probably thought he had it
They
on.
checked him into the game and he threw off his warm-ups and he had on a wife beater. He didn't have on his
Like he forgot?
Like,
Isn't
yeah,
that
I
He
it?
guess
had
he
a warm
just-
up, so he
he
just
just
thought he
forgot.
thought he had it on or
He
anything.
was
He
gonna
never did.
play. That's what I would do.
I mean,
His
could you
jersey's
imagine
uncomfortable, dude.
how tight that thing puckered when he said, "Colbert, get in"?
God.
Me? You want me? I'm playing tonight.
Here's about that. He had no idea.
Coach,
He
I didn't have
thought
my
he had
jersey
that
on.
Coach,
He
you got
thought
a
he had
jersey
that
for
on.
me.
That's
Wow.
sad.
Parker, give me that jersey.
I think that the technical last night at the 7-minute mark was accumulation of it was a build-up for Wade. I mean, he was on the officials last night pretty hard. It looks like that was kind of the that kind of got him going, really. I mean, that last 6:26, as he said,
that's right after
can't
that.
be able to play any better than that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really.
Is it like the NBA in the playoffs? Is he has like a technical limit? Will something happen if he gets
I don't know
one
that.
every game?
I think that there is a
Well,
number.
I don't think one every game would be good, but
No.
What would happen?
That's what I'm wondering.
There
Maybe
could be a
suspense,
suspension from the conference, from the league, but I don't know that. I don't
Let's find
know.
out.
I mean, he didn't really like do anything other than yelling at if he's like doing Bobby Knight stuff and throwing chairs on the court, maybe that's
Right, that's like ejection worthy. This like these technicals, he must be saying something slick, and they're like, "God damn it, Will! Sorry about that. Slid that one in."
I told you
I
were
forgot
bad.
about Justice Williams. I forgot he's
Yeah.
been hurt. Yeah, I mean we talk about 8-man rotation. I know they weren't trying to play him, but maybe that could be. You could have a Sharif Gattal. You could have a 10-man, 10 guys that could legitimately play.
Sharif could help.
Yeah,
Like,
no
I
doubt.
don't know what Justice Williams.
Right,
Like,
right
I don't
now,
know
right.
where he is and where he could fit in and where he could help, but Sharif could help. Remember, every time that Will Wade shows up here on the Jordy Culotta Show, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. Phil's Oyster Bar, located in Southdown Shopping Center. Stop in and check out Anthony and the crew over there at Phil's Oyster Bar. Great char-grilled oysters, great lunch specials. Stop in and see them. A staple of Baton Rouge.
Meatball
Phil's
quesadilla.
Oyster Bar. Yes.
Meatball
What?
quesadilla. You never had
You
that?
never had it?
Unbelievable.
Oh, God, it's so
What's the
good.
red
Paisan.
sauce?
Dipped in marinara sauce.
Well, I know what a meatball like. I know what
I mean, I
St.
hope you know what a
Phil's has a
meatball
great one.
quesadilla is.
They have a great one.
It's pretty
I've
self-explanatory.
never heard of that. Yeah. I've never heard of that combination though. I've heard of meatball po' boy. Meatball sandwich, a
Oh.
little pressed.
Or a meatball pizza.
But never, meatball
Yeah.
on pizza. I've never
It's
thought to
good.
go all the way with a D.
Paisan.
Really good.
Yeah, just
They
whatever.
crisp,
Two
they
pieces.
crisp the tortilla a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's solid.
A little
That
red
has to be
sauce.
good.
It's real good.
If you're a coach and your player forgets his jersey, does he not get to play? Like he has to run in, go grab it. Are you checking him back in when
No,
he's
you're not
ready?
playing.
Or do you lost that
You
opportunity?
lost the opportunity.
Damn.
You're not
Yeah,
playing.
I don't think that. I don't think that.
And let's be real. The guys that are probably forgetting their jerseys are the guys that are probably coming in later on in the games. So
That's what I'm saying.
there's
So
not enough
it-
time for him to run in, get the jersey, come back out, wait for
Can you play in somebody else's jersey?
No.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
No, I mean, it's,
Well, I'm just
it's
saying if-
illegal from a competition standpoint.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to be changing numbers because they used to do that.
See, but in baseball, if you have the wrong jersey on, because there's so many variations. If it's if you're wearing a jersey, but maybe it's Mother's Day and they just have the trim or a different hat, the guys on the team don't tell you because they want you to go out there
Yeah, sure.
with the wrong jersey so you can
Check
get
out
made
my
fun
tub.
of. So
Look at my tub. Look
you've
at my
seen
tub.
pitchers get out there with the wrong hat on and they have no idea. And then shit.
Wait, what's Mother's Day have to do with it?
Oh.
No, just a different type of jersey.
They put a
like,
little pink on there.
like
yeah.
sometimes like it's not a full pink jersey, but sometimes the trim's different or
Okay.
something. So like the guy, like, it looks very similar to like the, let's say it's a gray, you're on the road,
Yeah.
and you just have the pink trim. Sometimes you're just not paying attention, you just throw it on, and people aren't gonna.
So they leave all of the jerseys in your
No,
locker?
but it's like I mean, Mother's Day is probably a bad example, but like if you're there for Mother's Day, you have a certain day to wear it, but they're gonna have that jersey in your locker ahead of time just so that just kind of
Yeah, you're
prepping
ready.
it. And they usually put your game jersey on the top of the locker when you get there, but like you just have to get dressed and do other stuff, so you put that back in your locker, and sometimes you get confused, sometimes you just forget.
Have you ever had somebody on your team? This happened to me in high school. We had a guy think it was an away game when it was a home game for baseball.
Oh, yeah.
He drove all the way out to Bunkie
Oh.
and
Oh,
got
yeah.
out there and was alone.
Oh.
And then he couldn't really get back in time.
Coach-
I mean, he didn't play, but
Coach,
I mean,
I've had guys in college go on the road and forget their jersey and have to use like number 57
Oh.
with no
no
name.
name.
So wait, you were responsible to packing?
No, you had like a checklist of like stuff you had to pack here.
Uh-huh.
Like in pro ball, like they'll pack your essentials. Like they don't know, the clubhouse guys don't really know exactly what you want. Like some guys like different types of undershirts. Some guys
Socks.
like their socks or
Dead
different
socksy.
spikes
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. Nice plug.
That is nice.
And
Pull those
so
up if you
You're
want.
good for something.
You could pull those all the way up. That would be a natural baseball sock.
so yeah, they don't know. Like they want you do all the special stuff.
Softball game later.
And guys will forget. But in college, you have a checklist. You have to do it. Come down, and like some guys just forget. I forgot before.
I
You're
couldn't.
definitely on that
I
list.
couldn't imagine how many times I would forget.
Oh, dude.
I mean,
I just need to, dude. that
do we
was-
wear a hat in this sport? I'm sorry.
Man.
That's all I would tell myself is glove, hat, pants. I can play.
Yeah. As long as you have that, you're good.
You're good.
You're good.
Another job is opened in college football, and we will tell you that is Justin Fuente over
Virginia
at Virginia Tech.
Remember when he was the hot name?
He was the
huh?
hot name, bro.
Everybody wanted to talk about getting Fuente before he got Coach O.
He was the name. Everybody wanted Justin Fuente. He is out now at Virginia Tech, which opens up another job in Power 5 football. Look, again, we've talked about the competition for coaches and for LSU, and I still think LSU is obviously at the front of the line here when you think about potential jobs that are open. But if you're keeping count now, we're now up to 12 FBS coaching changes with 2 weeks left in the regular season. With the latest, Virginia Tech is open, TCU is open, USC is open. We didn't talk about this, but Washington opened over the weekend. Washington State is open, Akron, UMass. Georgia Southern has filled their spot with Clay Helton. UConn has filled their spot with Jim Mora.
Florida may be open.
Texas
Jim Mora
Tech,
Jr.?
Joey McGuire. Huh?
Jim Mora Jr.
Yeah, he's back with UConn.
Wait,
that
who was
man, what a
considering
legacy
USC?
name.
One of our Matt Campbell.
Dave
Dave
Aranda.
Aranda.
But wasn't Matt Campbell?
Matt Campbell will be on that
considering
list.
USC?
Luke Fickle will be on that
Yep.
list.
I think they really like Luke Fickle from what
yeah.
I've been reading.
Who?
USC.
Well, that's his ex-boss at Cincinnati.
Yep, that's
is
right.
now the AD
Yep.
at
Yeah, that's
USC.
so that you could
Wait,
put those.
Luke Fickles.
The former Cincinnati athletics director is the AD
Okay.
now at USC, and he hired Luke Fickle. That is Mike Bone.
You'd have to
Mike
think.
Bone. What a name. Right?
Bohn. That's Bone, huh?
Bone, right?
Yeah, it's like Donnie Bone down in New Orleans.
Yeah.
It's not as fun.
You
but
would think-
it still sounds good.
You would think
Bone
that
Zone.
The Bone Zone. But
Deion
that was the
Sanders.
guy.
That was Donnie Bone.
Zone.
What did he name a show that?
The
that
Bone
was the name,
Zone?
that was the name of his
Bone
car
Zone.
dealerships.
Yeah, see, they're auto dealers.
Welcome to the Bone
Bone
Zone.
Zone.
That's
Wow.
the last. That's the last plug you get, Donnie.
Sounds like you're not getting a good deal.
Yeah.
Depends
Depends on who you ask.
We're gonna bone you.
Right.
Welcome to the Bone Zone. I overpaid.
Right this way.
I didn't want to do this part.
So
Sound right.
I don't think that Virginia Tech is any competition to LSU. I don't think that anybody's saying, let me see what Virginia Tech decides to do before I choose on LSU.
I would say that
You would
this,
think Deion Sanders is gonna get looked at pretty heavily with some of these
TCU.
guys. Yeah,
It looks like
right.
TCU is he's
but
trending.
I would
That'd be
say
cool.
that those now that
I
that
love
job's
that.
open, this
Yeah.
is if you're an LSU fan and you're worried about who you think might be on the board for coaching hires. Those two openings are Napier openings. Napier openings. He would go to Virginia Tech and
the one
TCU.
that would concern me the most on Napier would be Florida.
Yeah.
If Florida
Like
opens
those
because
three,
of
those are real jobs.
and this is we talk about coaches and we talk about Mel Tucker wants to stay at Michigan State. We talked about Jimbo wants to stay at A&M, all of these things, right? And they talk about the pressures of coming to the SEC and playing at LSU or coaching at LSU. I think that Napier wants that, right? Like, I think he wants that pressure. He wants that type of job. So the LSU or the Florida job would be right up. Like, he's not shying. Like, he's not shying away. He's not looking for like, oh, let me go to TCU and win in the Big 12 and dominate there. Like, he wants to be the guy. You know, he wants to be the next best thing.
You know, it makes a lot of sense at Virginia Tech. Hugh Freeze.
You love Hugh Freeze, huh?
I love Hugh Freeze, absolutely.
Freeze, yeah.
I think his track record, his offense speaks for itself. He's a lot like, he's a lot like Lincoln Riley to me. Your offense is gonna work. Right. Your offense is gonna put up numbers. What is Lincoln Riley for the last 12 years has been in the top 20 in offense? East Carolina and Oklahoma, wherever he's been in the last 12 years, they've had a top 20 offense. I mean, that kind of tells you it doesn't matter who he's playing with.
ECU?
He was at ECU before he was at.
I didn't know that.
Before he was at Oklahoma.
Because you're thinking the way I'm thinking. He came in as offensive coordinator at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And then he was named like head coach and winning, and that's why Stoops left. So you forget that.
I forget ECU.
How he jumped to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
What's the timetable on Hugh Freeze? How long do you have to wait?
Two solid years at Virginia Tech.
No, I'm not saying
no,
that.
But
like
I'm saying do it for 2 years at a Power 5. I think the timeline is probably good.
That's what I'm saying. How long does he have to wait from Ole Miss to?
No, I think he's good now.
I think he is good now. I don't think that an SEC school wants to be the first Power 5 job back. If he can go to Virginia Tech. Yes, absolutely. If he can go to Virginia Tech and he can get it right, you know what I mean, and he can prove that he is still Hugh Freeze, I think in a couple of years he's back.
Florida will take another swing. Right. Auburn,
right? Auburn,
the revolving door of
Texas.
The SEC.
You know, I mean, like it looks like Sark's in trouble.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, it looks like he's in big trouble.
Texas needs to stop hiring and firing full staff.
Well, does that make you nervous about LSU?
No,
because if this one doesn't go right, you're going to do the same thing. If it's how long is the timetable at LSU? Texas and LSU.
The difference is Texas has been bad for a while. They haven't,
but they're not going to be good in 1 year. That's not how it works.
When you lose to Kansas, that ain't good.
That's not good.
That ain't good, bro.
But is that fireable offense?
I mean, that is a fireable offense.
In the first year?
I mean, dude, Kansas.
I know.
I don't care. I mean, look, I say that.
All on the heels of the monkey and the stripper, too.
Monkey and the stripper.
I mean, the pole assassin is creeping.
I forgot about that.
Me too.
They hadn't won a game since the pole assassin.
Me too.
So weird.
5 straight.
They hadn't won a game
You
since
can't
the pole
lose 5
assassin.
straight at Texas.
You can't lose 5 straight. Do you know who's actually going to get fired? Is whoever that coach was. Was he a special teams coach?
Yes.
Whoever's
he's
married to the pole assassin.
See ya.
You're if you thought Florida was bad, like I'm getting rid of Todd Grantham and somebody else. Like, sorry, brother, pole assassin, you got to go.
Now the pole assassin.
I got to clear some air between me and you.
Pole assassin.
We got to trim somebody, bro.
Is he
And
still on
you,
staff?
the stripper, and the monkey. Absolutely, he's a special teams coach.
Dude, I love it.
Bates.
He's pole assassin, dude. He took her last
We
name.
spent so much time on it. I can't believe I kind of forgot about
Mr.
it.
Assassin.
Are they still together after
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So much drama, though.
Oh, yeah. He loves that,
Absolutely.
though. He left his wife and kids for her.
Yeah.
And the
Staying with
monkey.
her. And the monkey.
And the monkey.
He likes the drama.
Jeff Banks.
Jeff Banks.
Yeah.
dude.
Jeff Banks.
Your head is in the guillotine right now, and you don't even know it.
Jeff, you could have
think he
the
did.
best kicker in the country and the best return game in the country. Your ass is done.
Gone.
Bring back Sebastian Janikowski. It doesn't matter.
You're done, bro.
Get that monkey kick field goals.
Daily, we are brought to you by Relief Med, RELEAF Med. Remember, over at Relief Med, this is medical marijuana that has been legalized in the state of Louisiana. And if you're looking for your recommendation, you can stop in over at Relief Med, RELEAF Med.com to find out what if you have one of the
It's a nice
Symptoms.
spot. It's a nice
one of the
spot.
symptoms. It is a nice spot.
Very informative,
I feel like we're not
educational.
saying
You
that.
learn a bunch of things.
They have
Yes.
a great video
Good.
in there that I felt like I
It's
learned
also
a
a
lot
great
from.
place to people watch.
It
Yeah.
is.
Like, what are you
Yep.
seeing
A lot
there?
of hat
Everything.
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 The range is
A
unlimited.
lot of people that look like they were going to rob the place because they're dressed up in like sunglasses, a hoodie, and a hat. You know what I mean? Like they'll walk in kind of like hat down, like I'm here to pick up my recommendation. Like, Bob, is that you? Bob,
Here again, Bob.
my TPS reports are on my desk. I'm supposed to have them in by 2.
Yeah, that's why I need my
Look at
medicine,
Bob.
dude.
Who knew Bob was cool? I thought you were a square, Bobby.
Bob, let's get some lunch. I'm hungry as hell.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
shit.
What is it? You want that
Have you
sour
seen
diesel,
anyone
Bob?
You know in there? Like if you run into people that you know.
I have not, but I
People
can't
ask
wait
you
till
about
the
the
day.
coaching
I
search
can't
in
wait till the day.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jordy,
right.
the Napier
Hey, how are you?
Jordy, the guy with nacho cheese and chili cheese on his mouth at the relief mat. He's like, "You got some information for me?" Like, "Yeah, oh, absolutely."
Come over here.
Go on over, yeah.
Bring that brownie.
Gummies at the end of the month.
Check out Relief Med, RELEAF med.com. Very
Wait, they have
easy.
edibles?
Relief Now.
Not
no,
yet.
they don't
Not
have
yet.
edibles.
They said they're gonna
Not
have them at
yet.
the end of the month.
Really?
Is what I
The
heard.
month.
Of the
But coming
month.
January 1st, flour will be legal here in the state
Flour.
of Louisiana, and you'll be able to pick up your flour there at Relief Med.
We'll be doing reviews. One hit. Everybody knows the rules.
RELEAF
Live
med.
reviews.
Live
.com.
reviews.
Yeah, one hit review.
One hit.
Just
Everybody
hot
knows the
box
rules.
Hey,
Exactly. Yeah.
I found out they had one. They have one strand there that helps with migraines. I love that. I have migraines.
Hey, that's a box I checked.
There you go.
I didn't get that
Lot of
straight.
benefits.
Migraines?
Of course.
Oh,
I
Mikey
do.
Migraine.
Mikey migraine.
I got them. They suck.
They do. I get migraines. I used to.
They stink.
They do suck.
I've never had one.
Don't
Oh,
you
bro,
don't want
that's
one.
it. That's it.
Bro, your eyes go
I've heard,
blurry.
man. My
Like I can't
stepmom
even like
suffers from
speak
them.
right.
And
I'm in a
she
bad
used to close
mood.
the. I mean, like she would be in the
Yeah.
dark room, and like if
That's
you
what you
cracked
have
the
to do.
light, I
Yep.
mean, she would be like,
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it sucks.
oh,
I used to take
brutal.
Finnegan when like it was so bad when I was younger. I used to take like Finnegan.
I had the injection in my
Finnegan.
leg.
Finnegan. That's when you
Finnegan.
put it up your butt. Huh?
really?
No, well they have a
This is like
a
8
suppository.
years
But
Plug it.
You have to plug the Finnegan. You got to go up the,
What?
up the
I did
peeper
not.
with.
Whoa,
bro, I take the pills.
I'm messed up, dude.
Well, you were eating them. You did it the wrong way.
What?
Put it in the wrong.
No,
put it in the wrong
dude, I
orifice.
have the pill. I don't
So
put
did
the
I.
pill in the butt.
Hey, you friggin' junkie over there.
Yeah, jeez.
It's quicker this way.
Jeez.
I had when I was prescribed. I get migraine meds. Imitrex. You snort it. It's a little thing you pop in your nose. It works.
Like a
But-
spray?
Really?
Yeah, it's a little spray.
Yeah, I have
For a
a.
migraine, you snort it?
I do.
Uh-huh.
I go with Rel packs. That's what I have. I have it in my wallet at all times.
Dude,
'Cause,
you
like,
have to.
Dude, there's sometimes in the middle of the game.
Uh huh.
I'm in the
Really?
outfield and I'm like, oh shit!
There
Like my
goes
eyes
Mikey
start getting blurry.
migraine.
I'm like, there. And if I don't catch it, in time, like it's miserable.
over.
But if
You're
you catch it in
toast.
time, you can do it. You can get past it. And so then I have to get past like the whole blurry stage.
Oh.
Like I've had at bats where like I've been in the outfield, had it. Oh shit!
I'm on
Run
deck.
in, go to my locker, get the medicine, pull it out. I'm on deck.
Put your jersey on.
Get in there,
Do the
and I'm like,
suppository,
damn, okay,
go
get my
back
eyes.
out.
And so like my eyes are blurry. I'm like, just don't. I just don't
Can't
get hit.
swing.
Wow.
And then I get through that part of it, and then I'm good. But yeah, it's crazy.
Jesus.
It's crazy.
Could you imagine stepping into a big league box with a migraine and you
No.
can't see?
I mean, Terrell Davis played in the Super Bowl
With a migraine?
with a
Yes.
migraine.
And
Well,
Mike
yeah.
Shanahan is
He
like,
scored. He said,
he's
"You gotta
like,
run this
hey,
spot."
buddy, we need you on the field right here. We're not giving
Yeah.
you the
Well-
ball. You just go this way, but they'll never believe us if you're not on the field.
field, yeah.
He's like trotting him out there, and Terrell Davis is like,
He can't see anything.
Dude, he's
dude.
holding
He
on to his
can't even
fullback's
walk.
jersey.
Dude,
He's
it's-
like, just get me out here.
It is bad.
It's debilitating.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine what that would be like if they did that today? They would run Shanahan's
Oh
ass
my
Out
God.
of the league.
like you would never hear from him again.
It's bad.
Do you think so? Even in a Super Bowl, he's like,
Yes,
look,
absolutely.
I think so
bro.
too. That's
Absolutely.
unbelievable.
In today's world, they would run him out.
Yeah, but migraines aren't like. It's not like a concussion. You
if
know.
you get hit in the head with a migraine, it's no good.
right, they would make it seem like they would kill
Yeah,
him.
I mean, I guess.
And they
I
can
guess.
probably, I mean,
You know
like,
what
hits
helped?
to the head can trigger migraines also.
You know what helped is I took an allergy test, a blood test, and it told me what foods to prevent. So, like it told me what foods to stay away from to prevent like migraines. So, like it helps. I haven't had one. I mean, knock on wood, but I haven't had one
all of
in a
us.
minute, in like probably a year.
You watched the Manning cast last night?
Yeah.
Not.
They were a little out of sync yesterday.
Were
I
they?
thought. Yeah, I watched it. I thought they were just kind of. It's catching up to them. The being in different rooms and having the guest on, and if
Yeah,
they
why
don't
can't they
all
just be in the
gel-
same spot?
I know,
Because
why
they don't
can't
want
they?
to.
I don't think they wanna leave their
Because-
house.
Right. If they want to do that, they would just be in a booth. But
Where, I mean, where do they? But where do they live? How far?
It's
Like,
New Jersey and Denver.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
it's fun.
Peyton's spot looks awesome.
I guess.
Eli
so does
wears
Eli's.
a
Oh, so
quarter
Peyton
zip
lives in
every
Denver.
time.
Yeah.
Same outfit every time.
Wow.
Different color.
He really? I mean, maybe.
I mean, I think
Relief
it was.
Med?
I think
Maybe
it
he'd
was,
be a relief med guy.
No, he definitely is.
That
He
neck?
definitely is. I think it was like voted like the best place in the country to live.
Have you ever been?
The
Have you ever been to
suburb,
Colorado?
the
Denver,
suburb
the
of
Sunshine
Denver.
State.
Sunshine
Have you ever been to Denver?
Denver's
yeah,
full
It
of
is
shit.
awesome.
Absolutely.
It is, especially in the summertime.
So
it is
clean.
great.
Pretty.
Yeah,
So clean.
and it's a
It
great
is
place to
clean.
play baseball.
I bet.
Ball flies.
I
Ball
love the
flies.
Manning
Ball
cast,
flies.
and I love watching Sean McVay. So that was a good night.
Oh, you're a Sean McVay. You get a little
That's
pressure
why,
on
like,
Sean
if something
McVay,
happens
huh?
to David,
You don't. The
y'all
height.
get me in touch.
The height. The height doesn't. The
David
height
knows.
doesn't bother you.
Not really, no.
Okay, just a little short guy.
He's
Chill out,
short.
bro.
Yeah.
Chill out.
I'm sorry.
Mikey, that's
Pack a
sensitive
punch.
around here.
He's
I
got a
think
big
it was
heart.
before your time, but we had a lot of height issues, a lot of height.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm
conversations
sorry.
around
I'm
here.
sorry. I didn't mean to bring up a sore subject.
Right, bro.
The whole
I think he's
bunker's
shorter
gonna
than
come
you,
after
though.
You know about 5'9" Italians.
Big hearts.
Right.
Knees hurt.
Piece of dynamite over there.
The fire stick.
All right, we were talking about this LSU job. It does seem like Jimbo and Mel Tucker are no longer in the mix. I don't know if Lincoln
I don't
Riley.
believe that.
You
Why?
I think Jimbo's still in.
You don't. You
If
think
Jimbo
after
takes
all
that
that-
job,
I'm reading
if
into
Jimbo
his
takes the
comments.
job after yesterday's press conference, it is going to be a
It's not
long
gonna be good.
decade for Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long next 10 years for Jimbo
I would
Fisher.
gain a lot of respect for
I don't
Jimbo
know.
because
I
you
would
gotta
not.
have
I
some-
lose
You
respect.
gotta have some gall to go up there and lie like that.
I mean, that is some just
God.
bold-faced
Just bold
lying.
to my face. You're telling me this.
But
and
maybe he's not
is-
lying. Maybe Woodward's going to change his mind.
No, I think that this
There's still
job is
time.
way
I
too
think you're
far
onto
into
it.
the wheels are way too in motion. I mean, think about it now. The job has
5
been
weeks?
open since the Sunday after Florida.
Yeah.
That's a month ago.
A month ago.
So yeah, I mean, nearly 5 weeks. This job has been vacant. You have to imagine that the serious conversations have come and gone.
For sure.
Like, I mean, like
Absolutely.
they've got an idea who's interested, what the number's going to be, how long the contract going to be for, and who are the real viable players here. And after last week's news of just watching the news, and again, nobody knows anything on the Jordy Culotta show. Nobody has
But
got
everyone thinks we do.
any type of information. Nothing is coming from official sources. This is just, I'm just kind of watching the news cycle. And the news cycle tells me that Jimbo Fisher, over the last 48 hours, 72 hours, has learned something about the LSU job that has made him say out loud, like he did yesterday, that he's staying in College Station. To me, it is tough to come back from that recruit or that press
Declarative.
conference as absolutely as just demonstrative as he was. And then the morning after the press conference, you pick up a kid from Baton Rouge and Le'Veon Moss from Struma. You know that he's recruiting.
My ears perks up a little.
Yeah,
bit.
but if you talk to a lot of people around Moss, the best case for him is probably to leave. Baton
Oh,
Rouge.
really?
Okay.
Just from a
Sometimes you need
yeah,
it. Sometimes you need it to grow up.
Just need it. And he's been committed to now Alabama and now committed to Texas A&M. So it seems like he is, he's trending out of the state. If you just look at that, so he commits to Texas A&M and Jimbo, and I got to imagine that Moss's people were like, Jimbo, there's a ton of smoke around Baton Rouge that you're coming to LSU. Can you shoot us straight? Because if you give us the real, we'll give you a commitment, or we'll at least tell you where we're standing. And it probably went down where Jimbo had told him, like, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to Baton Rouge. I'm not going to LSU. I'm staying at Texas A&M. And if we stay at Texas A&M, I'm staying at Texas A&M, and we want you here. And
I just don't see. There's no reason for him to leave. I just don't.
I agree.
I just
Money.
don't.
But money?
Yeah, but he's not getting paid.
He
He
said
ain't
don't make
getting
any
paid
more.
more here than he's there.
Yeah, I mean,
It would
they
be
got
legacy. It
way
would be
more
legacy.
money. They got
It
way
would be
more money over
legacy.
there. And not only that, Jimbo is in a position now where he came from a place at Florida State that he had to beg,
Yep.
crawl, plead, scratch, kick, fight to try and get support and facilities. At Texas A&M,
Whatever he wants.
if he wanted another 100-yard indoor facility because the one that he's got is not sufficient, they would build it for him tomorrow.
Sounds like Alexandria.
If they wanted
Yeah.
anything that he doesn't have or anything that he has that he wants upgraded, he is going to get today. At LSU, there's a process to that. There is a pecking order to that. And right now, Kim Mulkey's at the front of the line eating up everybody's money.
Taking Nick Saban's office.
I mean, yeah, she's over here getting all the boosters.
So if we take him out, we take Lincoln Riley out.
Well, I don't think we
Lincoln
can take
Riley's
Lincoln
not out
out
yet.
yet.
You don't think he's out?
No.
I
I
think
wish
he's.
he
I think he's scared.
What, Mel Tucker? Take him
You say
out?
you wish he
out.
was.
Kind of.
I kind of do.
You don't want him? I thought you wanted him.
Nah.
What
happened?
So you think we're down to Napier? Do y'all
I
think
think
we're
it's
down
Napier
to
and
Napier?
Aranda.
Napier and Aranda.
I think Billy
I
Napier.
mean, there hasn't been another name that anybody's really thrown out. That's
Well, that's the Woodward way.
Matt Campbell. That was another name.
Matt Campbell is a dark horse for sure. Out
But he
of
wanted
Iowa
an
State.
NFL job, right?
And I think that makes Woodward a little weary on Campbell.
Because he wants an NFL job.
Just because
You
it's
think
not
he'd
his
leave?
last. It's not his last stop, but he's
Yeah.
looking. He's
Yeah.
continuing to look.
If you think Jimbo does it, do you think that so if Jimbo stays in Texas at Texas A&M, who wins the national championship first? Texas
LSU.
A&M or LSU?
LSU.
And that would be the reason he would leave, right? It's like I have a much better chance.
He
to
has a
win
much
at
better chance at LSU to win than at A&M, but there's not as much. Like he can go 10-3 at A&M and be 9-3, 9-4, whatever, and they'd be okay with that and be competitive. Beat Alabama a couple years. they'd be fine. Here, hey, bro, you guys go get us a fucking natty.
It's risk versus reward.
A&M's recruiting class is disgusting here in 2022. This is going to be the 3rd straight recruiting class that has been a top 10, top 5 type class.
You could do that at LSU.
Oh, he could do it at LSU in his sleep, but he's doing it at Texas A&M,
Right.
what they have not routinely done. They have always gotten the bright and shiny stars, the Speedy Noyles, the Kyler Murrays, all these guys. They have not gotten the Walter Nolans. They are getting Walter Nolans. They're getting Harold Perkins. They're getting these guys.
The guys who build programs,
The
not
guys
just
that are the stability and the backbone of what you're trying to do. Le'Veon Moss doesn't commit to Texas A&M 3 years ago. Those are the types of guys that he's now getting to go to College Station. Right now, if you ask me where Shelton Sampson is going, the number 1 wide receiver in the state of Louisiana for next year's cycle, he's probably trending towards Texas A&M right now. Now, whoever LSU hires can make up some ground in the meantime.
And you get a quarterback.
who?
Yeah, he'll always have a quarterback.
Well, not this
No,
year.
they need to get one.
They need to get one.
They need to get.
He's gone through 3. He's gone through 2.
They stink.
Stink.
I mean, Calzada did beat Alabama.
Yeah, he's had one good game all
Yeah,
year.
well.
It's a great time for him to show up. He has not been good.
You
And
never.
then-
Calzada was the backup going into the
I know
season, and to see the backup playing like that, I think that you would take that, right? I mean, in the way that he played against Alabama and the way that he's played in the biggest
That
games.
Alabama game is saving him.
Well, I mean, he's played in big spots.
Yeah,
I mean,
pull the numbers.
I am.
All right, what about Mark Stoops? Is that another one? Is that another one?
Oh no,
Mark
there's no way
Stoops.
they go old man.
I hope they don't.
It's
hire
been mentioned
Mark
though a
Stoops.
lot.
No, he's done a really good job at Kentucky.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yes.
that. I think
He
that's where he
doesn't
needs to
feel
be.
LSU.
Yeah.
James Franklin.
No.
Out.
Okay,
Out.
here's your Calzada stats.
All right, so then
I
we're
mean,
down
his
to,
record is the same as Orgeron's over the last 2 years.
So y'all are down to Napier and Aranda.
That's
I'm
what I
still
mean.
in
And
Jimbo
Lincoln
and
Riley.
Aranda.
And Lincoln Riley's still
You
in it.
think
Yours.
Jimbo's in there? I think Jimbo's
I
out.
think Jimbo's in there. That's
I
just
don't
me.
think. You know what? My personal feeling is I don't think Lincoln Riley wants to smoke.
I agree.
I don't
with you
think he
there.
wants the job. I mean, if you watch that press conference on Saturday, if you see some of his demeanor on the sideline, I mean,
That's what turned you off of him.
bro,
That's it.
it's just this is the SEC. This is
Yeah.
LSU. You cannot hide. You can't. Every week, it's going to be what you were in last Saturday. It's going to be the Baylor game for you every conference.
there's no
game.
mercy, bro.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
here.
And if you're worried about people kicking field goals in opportune times of the game, like that's not what I want my head coach thinking about. That's not the mentality I want my head coach in. And after 6 years in Norman, with that budget and with that recruiting facility,
The
and those
only-
facilities,
and the only
and you
team in the
still
Big 12?
don't have a defense.
Yep.
Not even close to a
Yep.
defense. Like you can't make hires or recruit to bring in somebody that is a championship level defenders on that side of the ball when you say, hey guys, if we can just get it right,
If you can hold them to under 40, we can win every game.
let's
we
just
play.
get into the national championship game.
Right.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
you know what I
thank
mean?
you. Yeah, that'd
You know
be
what I mean?
great.
Like, let's quit getting to the Final Four and get blown out. Let's show that we're a program that deserves to be there and has not been able to cross that hump, get over that mountain in a short time, in the time that he's been in Oklahoma. I think he's one of the brightest offensive minds in
Right.
football, not just college, in all of football. And I think potentially he could be an NFL coach, but he does not feel like LSU's head coach. And I know that he's one of the biggest names in college football, but he just, to me, does not feel like an LSU fit.
That's what I feel about Napier, though.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like maybe he's just not big enough.
See, but
Being
I
there
disagree. I
Tall
think.
enough?
No. No.
I think that a lot of the big name guys, like I don't know. I'm not huge on like, oh, this guy's name is really big, we need to get him. Like I just think that there's more to that job than just having the name.
Totally.
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
I agree.
I don't know. I think track record. I think his background, where he comes from, and like I haven't hid my love and as him being my decision, but I think that just everything.
Wait, is he your decision? He's your number one.
That would be. He's my number one.
Napier?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's Lincoln Riley, does Durante Jones get to stay on staff for an interview? Would you be
I think.
okay with
it's-
that defense?
It's more if it was Aranda.
Well, he would definitely stay.
Yeah.
Right? They're boys.
I don't know if he'd definitely stay, but I think he would have the best chance of staying if Aranda was
I think
hired.
he gets a legitimate look no matter who's the guy. After based off of what he's done from Bama on, if they finish the season, especially with the guys that he's lost on the defense, I think that no matter who gets that job, he has a legitimate chance of interviewing and keeping that job, especially because he's played a ton of young guys, a ton of guys that weren't expected to play, and now he's kind of figured out, okay, this will make this defense go. He kind of has a little bit of continuity. I don't know if the coach can keep him, but he has a legitimate chance to stay no matter who's the head coach.
I think he gets an interview. I mean, he's done enough over the last month of play to show that he's at least worthy for a discussion.
Right. The only pushback I would have is that it's pretty easy to play this type of defense when you have literally nothing to lose.
Right.
Like, he feels like his job is probably gone.
But you could also make the argument that O's meddling
absolutely.
the first 6 months.
Right.
And
absolutely.
I would say the same thing for Jake Peets. That has proven not to be the case. It seems like Peets can't really figure it out quite yet.
Who's your number one?
Lincoln Riley. I'll take that cheese every day.
Okay. Let's say Lincoln's not going.
He's getting up there, though.
Who?
Napier's winning
That's
the poll.
big. And if you want to look at it just like granularly, more than just who you think should be the coach or who's the biggest name, that's the most Scott Woodward hire on the board at sans Jimbo Fisher.
Right.
Because they've always been connected.
I agree with that.
But if you're looking at home run swings, and that's what Scott Woodward takes, Lincoln Riley would be considered a home run to come from Oklahoma to LSU when the SEC is moving over. You swipe their legs out from under them. You get a coach that is bona fide a winner, despite what you may say about not getting to a national championship. He's been in Oklahoma where it's been fun and not been that great whenever it gets into like serious playoff contention. But that's when you get to LSU and you have the talent that they have.
So
that changes what you can do defensively.
You talk about home runs, right? I'm gonna piggyback off your analogy, right? In the history of Major League Baseball, since RBIs was a stat, and you stay with me here, let me get my analogy out. The RBI single,
Tony Gwynn,
has driven in more runs than the RBI double, RBI triple, and the home runs combined.
Wow.
Since that was a stat. So what you get with the the homers are fun, but a guy who hits a bunch of homers, what happens? He strikes out a bunch. So there's a big gap between, hey, it may be nice,
right, but
you're not going to consistently hit homers. Sometimes those homers turn into strikeouts. If you're consistent, if you're a guy at the plate and you're consistent, you put the barrel on the ball and you drive in guys, you may not be the sexy guy. That plays and that gets you championships.
Right, but you got to have runners in scoring position for that to play.
We have those.
Do you feel like LSU has?
We have the runners in scoring position.
Chucked?
So here's my thing. What's the top 3 things you want from a head coach here? Give me your top 3, like your checklist.
See, this is where I'm conflicted because I feel like the SEC has gone to an offensive format. So
Take names out. Yeah,
just a checklist.
Yeah,
I would like. So now I think I want offense. I want somebody that can. What I'm really interested in is somebody that can consistently produce on one side of the ball. After the Orgeron experiment, I need somebody that you can go to the podium, ask him a question, and he can answer for it. Not say I can fix it. Say this, and this went wrong. So with Lincoln Riley, you check that box on the offensive side.
No names.
But
Give me your 3.
Give
me your 3.
That
follow
recruit,
I
want to be able to somebody that has a specificity on one side of the ball. I want to be able to recruit and be able to get the culture here. Obviously, you have to be able to fit in.
I mean, sounds like Napier to me.
It does. Napier would play.
He develops all of his guys. To me, it's like you said, it's someone who can develop a culture, who can develop actual talent. He can recruit, and you have a guy who's on the top, and he will take everything on him. Right? He's the leader. He's the CEO. The guy that you can look at when shit goes wrong. You say, okay, this is our guy. This is our general. This is our guy who we can follow him into battle, and I feel like he's that guy.
I think that you're looking for you're looking for a specialty, for sure, in the next coach. Somebody that has an expertise, whether it's on offense and whether it's on defense. And the more I think about it, I think you can buy offense. I think you can pay for offense.
So if
you look around the college football world, who are the defensive guys that are making the most noise?
Between.
They're very rare out there, but the ones that are the dominant ones. Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, Mel Tucker even.
Well, see, I would see Nick Saban switched. I would say he went offense.
Well, but he is personally, if you ask him to explain what he knows best, he is going to explain defensive football. He is going to say, I have paid to get offensive football.
Right.
Like I am paying and will pay whatever I need to pay and will hire whoever I need to hire, whether it's Lane Kiffin, Steve Sarkisian, or Bill O'Brien. Whoever it is, I'm going to make sure that we are paying for an offense that is relevant. Defensively, I can handle it. I can handle it so much we can just put this guy Pete Golding in place, and he can recruit.
Oops.
And I'm just saying, like, you can.
No, I'm with you.
No offense, but I mean, like, guys that may not be qualified for the job immediately.
Right.
Golding is now.
Grow into it.
Golding is now.
Yeah,
he's grown into it. But the reason why Golding got the opportunity is because he was a great recruiter. Right? Like, I mean, he had done so much good on the trail that his value on the staff was so high that you had to give him a coordinator title and pay him, or somebody was going to pluck him.
Right.
Somebody was going to come get him. right? So, I mean, it's more of a compliment to Golding than it is discredit him, because I think everybody, even Kirby Smart, when he was running Nick Saban's defense, it was Saban's defense.
Well, he'll tell you, you run it this way.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's your second pick?
Aranda.
Me too.
I go Napier one. And look, if we got Aranda over Napier, I would be okay with that too. I'm not, but if I had to put my name on something that someone say, this is who I want, I like Napier.
Yeah.
To me,
What about the Panthers coach who?
Joe Brady?
No, Matt Rule.
Yeah, Matt Rule.
I think that's.
Is that just like a weird rumor?
I think that kind of cooled off.
I think. You think so?
Yeah, I think that. I mean, look, they're in position to make the playoffs.
Is spinning him. You know what I mean? I think the NFL is
harder than he thought it would be.
It's very much a tougher job.
But they're 5-5. They're in a position to maybe make a little bit outside run as a wild card.
And you talk about Jimbo and Texas A&M. He's got the same setup at Carolina. With Tepper as their owner, he'll throw $60 million. He spent $60 million on quarterbacks alone. They just got Cam for $10 million to run 15 plays.
On a side note, how awesome is it? Like, they signed Cam Newton, and Joe Brady says, you know what? We're gonna give you 2 plays that are gonna make you the most successful. I give you the most successful opportunity in this one game and 2 touchdowns. I love that.
I did too.
Isn't he from Atlanta too?
Who?
Cam?
Yeah. And he gets to go to Atlanta, take his helmet off, and be like, I'm back.
No, that was in Arizona.
It was. No.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, was it Arizona?
Yeah.
They played
Arizona.
Right? Yeah.
Uniforms got me.
But he did do that.
It happened.
So, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens with this coaching search and what goes on here. I think that we're in the final stretch, though. I think that something is definitely going to happen over the next week and a half, 2 weeks that you'll know. Yeah, I think just the timeline indicates that. The timeline
what's the poll at right now with
Dave Aranda at 37%.
He's the leader in the clubhouse?
Napier 27%, Riley 23%, and Jimbo 12%.
Yep, Jimbo losing all the heat, baby.
See, this is how you do the power ranking. So guess who won last weekend and guess who lost? Like, obviously, Aranda gets the big win.
I don't think
that has anything to do with it.
I really don't think that it's on the out, because, I mean, Mel Tucker's still involved. And Mel Tucker had a devastating
No, I'm talking about
loss.
fan-wise. I'm talking about, like, when you do, like, poll.
Yeah.
Aranda gets the win over Riley, so it's like, oh, well, let's take Aranda then. Like, that's how people look at it. They look at it week by week.
I think, to Jordy's point, I think Lincoln Riley's post-game interview put a lot of people off of him.
Turned off.
Yeah.
Turned me off. It turned me off tremendously. It really did. And then it got me thinking about Oklahoma football.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like, I get it. I love it. I'd love to have a Heisman contender every year, but I'd rather win a championship. I'd rather win a playoff game. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have a defense that has the potential to dominate rather than have a shiny offense that can get me to the doorstep every year.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine if you had Oklahoma season in 2019? Or 2018? Or 2020? You know what I mean? Like, where you're...
Yeah, that would be great.
You look great. But at the end of the year, you pop the balloon every year.
You knew that 2019 is easy to think about.
That game was replaying yesterday on TV. I'm like, man,
they ran
I forgot
into a
it was 30.
buzzsaw.
Yeah,
that's fine.
But every year, though.
But it's
that's
every
the
year
thing.
they run into some type of buzzsaw.
That's where you get into the recruiting aspect of, if he comes to Louisiana, it has LSU athletes playing defense for him with Corey Raymond and a defensive coordinator.
He's known the story for the last 6 years of who Oklahoma football is.
Nobody wants to go play.
And
nobody wants to go.
Oklahoma used to have good defenses, though.
He's had Texas. He's had California. He's had parts of Louisiana open to him where he can recruit. If he would have made an emphasis over the last 3 years to say, hey, I am going to recruit a defense. I know that I can roll out of bed and score 40 points with Jalen Hurts or Jordy Culotta as my quarterback. It don't matter. We're putting up points because our scheme is going to work. I got to go get a defense if I want to win championships. I got to go get personnel. I got to go get I got to spend all this money and resources that we have at Oklahoma, not that much different than what they have at LSU. The only difference I would say from a pure budgetary standpoint would be, or just the difference in the job would be the recruiting ground.
Right, that's what makes it different.
But if Saban knows that Lincoln Riley is the head coach at LSU, or Kirby Smart knows that Lincoln Riley is the head coach at LSU, he's coming in and sweeping the floor with the defensive talent in Louisiana. He's coming in and undercutting the message of Lincoln Riley more powerful than he was when he was at Oklahoma.
Can we agree that Texas has a enormous pool of absolutely talented players, right? Like, they're unbelievable.
Who?
The state of Texas. The University of Texas stinks, and they've stunk for a long time. So the only people that the only team that Oklahoma has to fight against in that part of Texas is A&M. He can go out there and get these defensive guys without having to compete with Texas in the Big 12. Hey, come here. We're going to be in the playoff. The only thing that is missing is a defense. And you're going to come in here and you're going to start and you're going to make us dominant and you're going to change the culture of Oklahoma football. He can go and do that, but he hasn't done it. And there's no excuse to me in that.
You could say the same thing that if you wanted to recruit defensively the way that Georgia has, would you be on their side right now if it wasn't for the year they're having this year? Like it's a very myopic view of what Georgia football is. Like they've stunk on offense the last since Kirby Smart's gotten there. Like he hasn't been able to find an offensive coordinator. Every time they get to the playoff, they get bounced. So it turns into the same.
But they've been to the finals though.
But you still lost. What's the difference at that point?
On a fluke play.
Who?
Georgia.
Like,
wouldn't you say that if Georgia doesn't have the team that they have right now, that you wouldn't be making this argument that you need defense? They've just flipped it on its ear. It took them almost 6 years to get there. It's hard to recruit defense to be that good. Offense, you could plug and play right now and take a shot.
I'm not saying we're not saying you have to be as good as Georgia.
But
defensively, you just have to be competent.
Kirby Smart has been on, I wouldn't say the hot seat, but he's been a name that they're not sure if it was going to work at Georgia. And now because this defense is built the way it is, they're ecstatic about it because it could win you one national championship.
I mean, I think
Spencer P. in the bunker says he thinks Aranda's eyeballing the NFL, and that would be his concern. And I could totally see him going to the NFL.
I don't know how long he is. I don't know. A little passion came out of old Aranda. A little college football might be getting him.
Though. Like that would make sense to me for him to go to the NFL.
He does seem like an NFL guy.
He really does.
He's so stoic.
He
and kind of
reminds me of
reserved.
Manny Diaz,
football.
and I think Manny Diaz fits so well in the NFL.
Manny Diaz?
Yeah.
the guy from Miami.
Manny might be the Miami mayor next. He might be out of football.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I guess he might be.
Yeah, I mean, his dad was the mayor of Miami.
Was he really?
Was he?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
And I mean,
Wait,
he's
is there like
a South
is he
Florida
really
native.
like he would?
Oh, I don't know if he would.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't know.
mean,
Is that like a
he comes
rumor?
from a political family.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, he might be coaching himself out of football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he just.
Do you see where Nick Saban can't travel anymore?
Yeah.
Why?
It's too old.
Yeah, he's getting old.
Hurts his back
Wait,
and hurts
what?
his knees.
Stop.
We
What do you
just
mean?
said-
I sent you the document,
He
Mikey.
just says the recovery of it is, it's just.
Yeah, but you know what he
But he can
does?
still travel. He's not stopping.
Do you know what he
travel.
do? But do you know?
He might
Do you
be
know?
coaching home games.
His travel is way different than any. Do you know what he does?
No.
He'll travel to California for a recruit and go sit in this guy's living room, fly back to Tuscaloosa to sleep in his own bed, and then fly back to wherever he's going the next day.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah,
he's
Miss
a
Terry
homebody.
wants him
Are
home.
you serious?
Hey,
That's a lot.
Nick.
so like that's a lot of
You gotta
travel.
start- I mean, at some point, you got to put your foot down.
That's a hell of a jet.
That
yeah.
is.
Yeah, when you got Nick Saban money, you do everything.
Do you lay down on the
God, that's
private plane?
weird,
Yes.
though.
Oh yeah, he
he's got a
sleeps,
bed.
he
He's
sleeps
gotta
and stuff.
sleep.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
sleep in the air like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
In private air, I could.
Yeah, like in a bed would be weird to me.
We don't have to sleep in a bed. Maybe
I
it's a
think you could
couch.
just lounge that chair back.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a recliner. And I don't
Yeah.
think you're laying like in a like. I mean,
think
have you
they
seen?
have 'em.
Have you seen
They do
Drake's
have 'em.
plane?
Okay, that's a house.
I mean,
Does
that
he
is
have a
a
personal plane?
mansion in
Drake?
the air.
Drake does?
He
Oh,
bought
go
a
look at- go
he bought
Google
a
it right now.
777 plane. He bought a Boeing
so he, like, tricked it
777.
out.
Yeah, it's a
It
house.
is- it is a mansion in the air.
Yep, no doubt.
I mean, it is a mansion
Oh my God.
in the air.
Yeah.
Bro. I mean, like,
That's
it is
crazy.
amazing.
Is Drake a billionaire yet?
Gotta be.
Gotta be, right?
Or if he's not, he's got to be trending very, very close.
gotta be tight.
I mean, he's
Gotta be
breaking
close.
like Michael Jackson and Beatles record sales.
It was $185 million. The
Yeah.
plane.
You just spent. I mean, there you go. I mean, you're spending
But
185.
wait, then another article says it was $220 million.
Well, I'm sure with the upgrades.
Oh,
I'm telling you, it is a. I mean, like it is.
damn.
Yeah.
It's a. I don't know if I get off of
wouldn't
it.
be-
It says Air Drake on the jet.
Yeah.
right
I wouldn't
there.
be surprised if he had a little
OVO,
a
he's got the- he's
tanker
got the
that just
owl on the
flies
side.
I see
and
it.
refills the gas in the air. The
He's got
refills
the
the fuel in the
tanker
air
to
like the military. I wouldn't be surprised if he bought
Air
that.
Force One.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Yeah, like,
it.
hey, we're running low on
You
gas.
could
We're going
fly-
over
I mean,
to Europe.
could
We need you to come
fly
and get us.
to New Zealand on that thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like from anywhere in the world. That thing is a world traveler. That is a international plane.
It has multiple
Air
bedrooms and a
Drake.
private living room and a private office.
Oh no,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can take a tour of it.
Yeah.
Open
I
it
see
up,
that.
bro. I don't know how you get off of it. I don't know how you would leave.
Air Force One ain't
Yeah.
got shit on
Nothing.
Drake.
Nothing.
It's gorgeous.
Nelly really got cut out
Nothing.
of having a plane called Air Force Ones. Like
I
that
know,
would have been
he
that would have
really
been
did.
awesome.
You know that Nelly is in
I know.
He's in
but he's
Gonzales on
radio.
Friday.
Yeah,
He's
big
playing
bro.
at Lamar
He's
Dixon.
playing there?
Big
He's
bro.
playing at Lamar
I
Dixon.
didn't even know he's still like
I was like,
touring.
damn, bro. Nelly has fall off, but I want
I would
tickets.
still go
No, I
see
do
it.
love me some Nelly, though.
Yeah,
Even just staying for
absolutely.
like a few songs.
God,
would be
country
worth it.
grammar, EI. Oh, man.
Unbelievable.
Number one.
Tip drill.
Number one.
We should
Tip
go
drill.
Jordan should video the
What
whole
does it take?
situation.
Dude, I would go to a Nelly concert.
Hot in
Heart
here.
rate.
God,
I'm
we
going.
got. You going? When
For
is it?
sure.
When is it?
Friday night.
Right.
Do you
In
have like
Gonzales.
tickets and everything? You're in.
I mean, I know somebody at Lamar Dixon. I mean, we're going.
Can you get like floor seats?
We'll try.
If we get a little,
Try, for
yeah,
sure.
get a little
You get
table
backstage
service, I would
passes
go.
or what?
I know. I would like it like
Nelly,
that too.
I know you
Do
would.
they have that
Kate.
there?
I
They
know
don't
you
have
would.
that at Lamar Dixon. I do.
What?
Like table service? Like, do you think
Bottle
they have
service?
like a box, like a?
I love
private-
that. I mean, that's the way to go.
Yeah, it's totally.
I don't
I don't
know.
know what Gonzales is popping.
I don't know how they're going to set this thing up, but
Yeah,
I mean,
find out if they can get us a little.
Nelly
VIP
is in town on
section.
Friday night.
Is Nelly best rapper athlete of all time?
No, it's
Longest
got to be J.
yard?
Cole. Huh?
J. Cole's pretty
Yes,
good.
J. Cole is
Nelly in the
amazing.
longest yard looks like he can. Pick
Well,
him up
Nelly
and put him
actually.
No, he
down.
can definitely
Nelly,
go.
I think Nelly may
Have
be
you ever
the
seen
best
it?
actual pure athlete. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're
Have
right.
you ever seen him hit a song? I mean, like, and
Yeah,
there's
he
like,
won softball MVP
Yeah.
twice.
Nelly
did.
was like a big time baseball.
yeah, he was a
recruit.
big time baseball player.
Yeah, out of high school. Like he had an opportunity to play professionally.
2 Chainz is a hell of a basketball
Yep.
player.
Yeah.
Yep. He played college basketball,
Played
didn't he?
college basketball. So did J. Cole.
J. Cole, I love
Well,
J.
J.
J. Cole's
Cole-
my favorite rapper. So.
J. Cole went out there and he tried to play.
Yeah.
You know.
Master P.
Y'all aren't gonna
Master
go
P.
watch Arch Manning Friday night at Episcopal? That's what I'm doing first.
Does he play at Episcopal on Friday night?
Yes, it's the playoff game. Sophie's cheering at it. I'm gonna be there.
Oh, so
Sophie
you
got
ha-
you
some
were
buckets
happy
the
I
about
do
other
have to be
night.
there.
So
But
Sophie got some.
I would still love
I
to.
saw
Sophie
that.
got a couple points the other
Episcopal.
night.
She did last
I saw
night.
that.
She
Little
did
bit.
last
Clean up.
night.
Shots,
She's nervous about playing on varsity.
She
but
looked good
she's-
though.
That was varsity.
She looked good.
Yeah.
So I mean, she's been scared because she's the young one.
But you can tell she knows what's
she's
going
getting
on
there. She
out
knows
there.
what's going on, but
like
she's
she
so
knows
timid.
to be in the right spots. Like when she
She
caught
does.
that
A little
rebound
bit,
and went
put it
back
back
up,
up.
that was she got that because she knew where the ball
She
was
knows
going to
where to
be.
be,
She kind
but-
of
Did a
knows the
strawberry
game.
thing.
Yeah,
My
right.
girl though is
Yeah,
still
bam,
so
boom,
like,
Hey, sometimes
Bah, bam,
She
bam,
holds the ball
boom.
though and
Bah.
holds it now. That's
You gotta keep it up. You gotta keep it up. Can't bring it down.
Keep it high, Sophie. Keep it high. Like she pulls it
Hey,
down.
so when you're that young, sometimes you forget. I've done it when I was playing down. I went for the rebound, Sky for the rebound. Thought I was going the other way and threw the ball down. Thought I was getting an outlet pass and I threw it back court. It was not good.
Did you see
I was
where
like 7, but it's okay.
You where Eli slammed on Peyton's last varsity basketball game.
Yes.
I love that.
You don't have to tell that story. Dude.
That
Don't
was
tell
so
that story
fun.
at all.
No, I'll tell it. I'll tell it. I'll tell it.
Eli, dude, kills the story. Like,
does.
it's so good at it.
That's good. Eli's been
does.
good. Eli comes out hard at Peyton.
He does.
I like that. I like
Younger
that,
brother.
though. Little brother. Yeah.
Got younger brother vibes.
I love that.
I mean,
Awesome.
total FU for everything in life, bro.
Yeah.
We're on national television right now. I'm going to tell them how small your penis
I need
is.
Eli to wear something besides the quarters up though.
That's it. But that's his vibe. That's
Every
his
week, it's a
vibe
quarters
though.
up.
Yeah, that
That's
is
his
his
Quarters
vibe.
up.
That's his deal.
Nothing
Vibe.
different.
Eli's very safe.
He's
Yeah.
very vanilla.
Very safe.
His vibe.
Very vanilla.
But he does. He
Right,
does. He
right.
does have that New Orleans smart ass,
Yeah.
witty,
Quick.
Yeah.
quick. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, yeah, good
Wait,
call, Pate.
speaking
You know
of-
what I mean? Like,
Eli, Peyton, Odell Beckham, Arch all played at Newman.
Uh-huh.
And they've never won a state championship.
Randy Livingston.
Why have they never won a state championship?
Lincoln Riley factor.
Yeah.
Isn't that odd though?
Wouldn't want any of the Mannings on
They
the
made,
team.
honestly, this
Too many
year,
rich
Big
kids.
one.
Now
Too many
with
rich
the
kids
whole
around
like
them.
private
Egos.
public, now like the whole private public school thing, like I think they could win one now.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't have
Yeah.
to play against some of the big dogs that are really
Yeah,
good.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Car.
Yeah, I mean,
That's true.
and you don't have to win 5 games to win a state championship anymore. You have to win like 3 sometimes.
I was working for the LHSCA when they made that switch to all of the games. Talk about an exhausting 72 hours of just sheer football. Because they played games back to back to back to back to back, and we had to be there for all of them.
Ugh,
And it was, it wasn't fun anymore.
gross.
Man,
It was
you know-
fun at the beginning.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
these
it's-
teams are good. It's like,
Playing again?
yeah, it's like, what, 1C's playing against 1C? It's like there's 55 people here. But good on you for winning a ring.
Hit that like, share button if you don't mind. Comment on it if you don't mind before we get out of here. Remember, daily, we are brought to you by Cajun Ready Mix. Cajun Ready Mix Concrete. You can find them online at CajunRMC.com. Get in touch with Cajun Ready Mix today if you have a project around the house or you're on a construction site and you need some concrete work done. Cajun Ready Mix is ready for you. Residential, commercial, industrial, municipal. CajunRMC.com. Cajun Ready Mix Concrete products and services to meet all of your concrete needs. They strive to be the premier provider of quality concrete. They have 9 locations around the greater Baton Rouge area, 9 plants around the greater Baton Rouge area, which means that all your concrete will be delivered on time to the exact specification. Find them out online, Cajun RMC for Cajun Ready Mix Concrete. Daily sponsor here, the Jordy Culotta Show. We appreciate them. We appreciate you for being out there and starting your Tuesday with us. Hit that like and share and comment button on this post, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for the Jordy Culotta Show.
Maybe like 7:05.
You don't want these Calzada stats?
Yeah, what you got?
They're terrible.
Hit me.
So 15 of 29.
What year is he? What year is he?
He is a
Freshman.
Sophomore.
Okay.
So we're going to go from Alabama game, his best game of the year. 21 of 31, 285, 3 tuds, 1 pick. That's a great game.
Big spots, too.
Big spot.
Came in with a
Big
bum
spot.
leg.
He is playing hurt.
Yes.
I will say that. He's tough as hell.
Yep.
You can see all that.
Okay, look.
I mean, he took a shot.
All right, a little circumstantial argument there for the defense.
I don't respect the man because he's going out there with a busted knee and a busted shoulder, and that I respect that.
Maybe that's why his numbers stink.
No, because it didn't happen until Auburn.
Alabama.
It happened against Auburn.
No, Alabama, he hurt his knee.
Yeah, then he's fine. All right, 13 after that game, 13 of 25 for 148, 2 tuds, 1 pick. I mean, 150. What are we doing?
Dub, though?
We can win with that.
Was it a dub?
If we can run the ball, run the ball and got defense, we can win with that.
That was a dub.
35-14 to beat up on Mizzou. Congratulations.
35-14 win.
Yeah, that's a dub.
And then he picks, and 52% completion percentage, very good.
We can win with that.
We move ahead to South Carolina, 12 of 24 for 187, 2 touchdowns and a pick. And a win.
His completion percentage is not great.
Okay, keep reading the stats because you're really hurting your argument here.
No, I'm not.
Go ahead.
Terrible.
Go ahead.
These are bad
I
numbers.
wouldn't say
you're 3-0 in the numbers that you've gone down.
He's winning because they're a good football
Can
team.
you put us back
Jimbo
on screen
Fisher
though,
is
while we're talking about it?
what do we have up there?
Just some Cajun Ready Mix plant locations.
That's where the plants are.
There we go.
Just in case y'all really needed to know it.
Yeah, people are really taking notes on those plant locations.
And then we go to Auburn. They win 20-3, 15 of 29 for 192. No touchdowns, no interceptions.
Okay, he doesn't turn it over.
He does turn it over. He's turned it over every game.
You just said none.
Yeah, except for that one. But he has a pick. He has 3 picks, and then he goes to miss. They lose.
Lloyd, smoke more weed.
What?
You fucked this up.
What was
Calzada is a player.
What was the Mississippi State one?
What, Lloyd?
No, they lose to Ole Miss. 24-42, 237, 2 picks, no touchdowns.
Okay, that's a bad game.
And those are his best numbers.
No.
Completion percentage-wise.
Okay.
He's not good. Texas A&M is
He's not
good.
terrible.
He's not terrible.
He shouldn't be playing.
The argument is he's terrible. He's not terrible.
He's the backup quarterback for Jimbo Fisher that they didn't expect to play. I mean, those numbers are serviceable and you can win with. I mean, I'm not.
He's not putting up
What was
Jordan
the argument
numbers?
anyway? How did we get here? Are we holding hostage Jimbo Fisher on his quarterback play?
I don't know what we were talking about.
I don't know how they got there.
I don't know how. Is that how we got here?
I don't know how we got there.
How did we?
Maybe I was defending
I
Jimbo
think-
because he can win with bad quarterback play.
No.
I think that's
It doesn't matter.
You were
Jimbo isn't
defending-
coming.
Yeah.
I think that actually was
Y'all
what it.
don't know that.
He's not coming.
coming.
He's not.
If
Say
he
that
comes
for
out,
sure.
if he goes to Baton Rouge
What would
after
you do?
yesterday,
Give me. What would you do? Give me.
I would, the
What
first
would
question
you
I would
do?
ask him about what were you thinking on that press conference?
was lying through my
that's
teeth.
normal to ask. I mean, that would be a valid
mean,
question
like,
to ask.
he would have to
Yeah.
he would have
You
to
have
answer.
to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's that egregious.
Yes.
Like it is that
It's a
out there
lie.
where you're like, what?
Well, he's down to 8% in our poll now.
Yep. See.
He's dropped.
Who's leading?
Aranda,
Aranda.
34%.
I'm telling you, I think this is a 2-horse race between Napier
I
and
agree.
Aranda.
I
And what's
agree.
what's your sauce? Offense or defense?
Both of which would take it. Absolutely,
Oh God,
right?
in a heartbeat.
Yes.
I mean,
In a heartbeat. I think that's where he's gotten to the point of. I think there was a tier 1 list of probably Lincoln Riley, Jimbo Fisher, and Mel Tucker. Tucker might still be in it, but last week there were reports out of East Lansing that they had agreed to terms on an extension and a raise, and that's going to get him right around $6.5 to $7 million a year. Good life. It's a really good life coaching football in East Lansing. If Tucker's out, it feels like Fisher's out after his comments yesterday. We have been speculating on whether or not Lincoln Riley is in it or he has taken himself out of it. If those 3 guys are gone, if they are out of the mix, there's no Lincoln Riley, there's no Dave Aranda, there's no Jimbo Fisher. To me, the next 2 candidates on the list are Dave Aranda and Billy Napier, and to me, whoever you offer it to first is going to tell you yes.
But how do you know it's not
And-
one of these like rumors like a Matt Campbell?
So I was about to say that. So like the
know?
more I think, like this is my.
I don't
like,
know.
I don't know. And like the more all these other guys are gone, and we just keep talking about Randa and keep talking about Napier, and as much as I want Napier, part of me thinks that Woodward's going to announce something, and it's going to be like, whoa,
Yeah,
what?
could be.
I mean, he already did it to us.
We haven't
Jay
talked about that.
Johnson
Nobody
does
talked about
already,
Jay
yeah.
Johnson.
Could
Yeah.
be. But let me tell you something. If they find Jay Johnson of college football,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
all in.
And
I mean,
whatever he
if
picks, you trust.
it's the Jay Johnson of college football that you didn't see coming or was off the board and didn't make sense, let's see, man. Because the return on Jay Johnson early has been tremendous. Have a great Tuesday. Appreciate you starting with us. Make sure and hit that like, share button. Go Chevrolet drives us every single day. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Zach Calzada.